Hello, everyone, and welcome to Central Iowa High School Volleyball. Another year unfolds with a few changes here at KDAO Radio and on Radio on the Go YouTube. Okay, so a few changes here, but and also we're kind of starting out the season, for me anyway, with something I've never done before, a triangular meet, okay? So we got a triangular thing going on. In Eldora tonight, we have the BCLUW girls. As you see, they're on the court right now. Of course, if you're watching this on KDAO.com or, on the Radio on the Go YouTube page. And, oh, by the way, I know that's different for people because they're so used to going to KDAO.com, but I think you can still go to KDAO.com and find the Radio on the Go YouTube page to watch all of our games, tonight's matches, and then tomorrow night with football. But anyway, let's get back to what I'm talking about. We're talking about a triangular meet tonight in Eldora. I'm Chuck Carpenter, and we've got a triangular meet. A lot of teams go to these things. It's a chance just to play more volleyball. And tonight, the BCLUW girls come up to Eldora, and the South Hardin girls off to a nice start. They've already won a match, and that was over Iowa Falls Alden the other night, 3-2. So the girls have already won one match after they were 12-20 last year. So South Hardin is hosting a triangular, and their first competition, of course, is BCLUW, who's rated 11th as far as Class 1A is concerned. And, if you know anything about volleyball, you know about the tradition that BCLUW brings to the table. And we're talking about state tournament appearances. Not 1 year in a row and not 2 years in a row, but 3 years in a row. And, of course, they lost a lot of firepower from last year. Grace Farnsworth, one of their leading hitters, no longer on the team. She graduated. And then they really had a tough luck situation here. Olivia Peters, and, of course, Olivia, she's just been a mainstay, one of the best hitters. Had 329 kills last year. She hurt her knee. As a matter of fact, she had surgery. So maybe Olivia's tuning in, and when she comes back, she's going to be a manager of the Comet volleyball team. But they got to find some power. They do have some girls coming back. And, of course, last year I think they set a state record, not a state record. They set a school record with 36 wins after they had won 33 the year before, and after they had won 35 the year before that. So, but they do have some girls coming back, and we're talking about Brenna Benson, and now she'll be the libero. They've got a couple of hitters. It's tough. They don't have Olivia, but that's tough. That's the way that goes. Now, got really high hopes for Kylie Pekarik. She had 158 kills last year, and then we had Kennedy Davis. She had 107 kills as a freshman, and then Cambria Wayman is the setter. So it's always good to have your setter back, even if you have to find some firepower. So that's what's going on with BCLUW. And right now the Tigers of South Hardin are on the court. Now they're 12-20 last year, and we all know how dang tough that conference is up there. We're talking about the NICL. The Grundy Center girls are already rated number 1 in the state in Class 2A. But the South Hardin girls, they get out to and they return a lot of people back. They have size. They have a couple things that BCLUW doesn't have. They have size, okay? We're talking about the Tidman girl, Lexi, 97 kills, 6 foot. And they have a lot of girls back that can put the ball down, okay? So they have a little more firepower returning than BCLUW. And we're talking about, I know this was last year, but we're talking about Hadley Thompson, a junior with 128 kills. We're talking about Emma Mintier with 172 kills, and she's a senior right now. We're talking about Lucy Anderson with 121 kills. And, of course, they've got the Tidman girl, I already mentioned, Lexi, and she has 97 kills. So that's kind of the way they are this year. I think they have really high hopes for their second-year coach, Coach Holmes. A lot of girls back. Got some good balance back. Got some good firepower back. They do need to find a new setter, okay? Do need to find a good setter. So, and that's for BCLUW, so that's kind of the opposite thing, because BCLUW, they have the setter in Ramirez. They just need to find some other hitters, and it's tough to replace somebody like Olivia, but, it's got to be by committee. And then South Hardin, they have a number of girls that can put the ball down. Okay, we're going to take a very short break, and we'll come back with the starting lineups and then the play-by-play. This is the first of 3 matches tonight, okay? I've never done a triangular, so bear with me. We've got South Hardin and BCLUW, and then we will have BCLUW and South Hamilton, who's a very good team from the heart of Iowa, and then we will have South Hardin and South Hamilton. And we'll chit-chat more. We'll have some starting lineups. I'll be back in Eldora as we kick off the volleyball season on KDAO Radio and on your Radio on the Go YouTube with KDAO.
Hanson Family Hospital is your home for health care in Hardin County. From convenient family care and specialists close to home to 24/7 emergency care, Hanson Family Hospital is committed to providing compassionate, quality health care for you and your family. Hanson Family Hospital, care close to home.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio, as well as on your YouTube page on radioonthego.com. And again, this is brand new. I mean, for years and years, understandably so. I get confused sometimes. For about 7-8 years, we've been streaming games on KDAO.com, and we ask you to go to the Radio on the Go YouTube page. But I'm still kind of thinking that you can go to KDAO.com and you can be linked up that way. Okay, now in this particular format tonight, and of course, the reason why the camera's at kind of a goofy angle is not the camera operator, but because they're playing on the Tiger court, because on the other court, and, just so you know I'm not lying, that's where the JV plays, okay? So the JV plays there, and varsity is playing over here. And the format tonight, we've got 2 out of 3 games. We got 2 out of 3 games to 25, and then the third set to 15. And like I said, this is the second competition for the South Hardin ladies. They knocked off Iowa Falls Alden the other night, 3 games to 2. And this is the first competition for the BCLUW girls. They're rated 11th in Class 1A. And, of course, we have our usual suspects rated this year. I want to say that North Tama, BCLUW, and Gladbeck-Rhinebeck are just bang, 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 10, 11, and 12. And, of course, Grundy Center, locally, they are rated number 1 as far as Class 2A is concerned. Sally Ramirez will get a start. Sally, of course, is a sophomore setter with 375 assists. Number 21 will be Addie Moeller. Addie is a senior. We've got Kennedy Davis, a fine sophomore, good hitter. We got Kylie Pekarik, really good to depend on her for some good stuff. And Brenna Benson will be the libero. And 13, Rain Sereno, a senior, number 13, for the Comets. Number 3, Addie Cook, setter. She'll be the setter for South Hardin. Number 5 is Emma Minter, senior, good hitter. Lucy Anderson, good hitter, senior. Number 2, Hadley Thompson, good hitter, junior, number 2. They have a bunch of good hitters on their team, man. And number 8 is Ella Owens. And Lexi Tidman brings some size and some power to the table. She has 97 kills. So for BCLUW, quite a few new faces in the lineup. Need to find some offense to replace Olivia for South Hardin. They have a ton of experience coming back, and they also have a whole lot of power as well. So some good balance. This is going to be a good match, the first of 3 tonight. And I'll be back in Eldora on KDAO Radio and on your Radio on the Go YouTube page with high school volleyball.
API has you covered, literally. Top quality shingles, metal, rubber, and flat roofs, roofing and siding for home, farm, and business. See the API local showroom on Highway 175 East in Eldora. Free professional inspections and estimates. API Roofing, Siding, and Gutters.
J&T Plumbing and Heating is ready to help with your home or business. From plumbing repairs and drain cleaning to heating, furnace, and air conditioning service, J&T Plumbing and Heating, keeping you comfortable year-round. At Hardin County Savings Bank, every time you use your HCSB debit card, local schools benefit. Help support school activities, events, and programs in our communities. Sign up for HCSB Cash for Schools today. High-speed internet shouldn't stop at the city limits. That's why RTU has expanded reliable internet service across rural Grundy and Tama counties with Traer coming soon. Main Street, not Wall Street. Learn more at rhinebeck.net.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio and on your Radio on the Go page, YouTube page. And as like I said, I think you still go to KDAO.com, and there'll be a link there that'll direct you to all the action. South Hardin girls, they were 12-20 last year with their new coach. They have good tradition, and they're a little seasoned already this year with that nice victory they had over Iowa Falls Alden, 3-2 in BCLUW. They've had a bunch of practices. They've had a bunch of team camps in the summertime. They scrimmaged with South Tama and Marshalltown on Tuesdays. And, of course, the other thing for BCLUW, you never want to discount this. You know, we may have some new faces out there, but these girls have practiced against some of the best players in the state that have been to state 3 years in a row. So there's something to be said for that. Now, the Tigers have a little bit more size, and the Tigers, at this point in time, have a little bit more balance than BCLUW. The Comets, they know they can depend on Davis. They know they can depend on Bekaric. And then they have to find some other girls. We have a nice crowd on hand. This is the first one, so the official, as always in volleyball, they're trying to figure out the rotation, and everybody's like flip-flopping in and out and all over the place. You know how that goes. So the JV's on one court, and the varsity here is on another court. And let's see here. We're going to have BCLUW. I think they're going to serve it. No, they're not. Oh, Addie Cook is over there, and Addie's waiting for the ball. So Addie's got the ball. So Addie Cook is going to serve, and we're finally ready to get underway here with high school volleyball, and away we go. And that will be served out of bounds. This is very similar to a configuration that you would see on a court at Saturday on Saturday tournaments. Okay, BCLUW sends it over. They're going to set up a middle, and it's going to go down. That's number 11, Lucy Anderson. And like I said, these girls, they have a lot of varsity experience. We're talking about South Hardin. Emma Mintier will serve the ball, and it's 1-1. And checking in is Rylan Cross. In volleyball, you got rotations all over the place. Benning comes and gets the ball. There's an outside tip, and it's going to be out of bounds. So BCLUW went for an outside tip. That was Wayman. She tried to tip it, and she hit it out of bounds. A 2-1 lead now for the Tigers. And Mintier, Emma, senior, will serve it away on KDAO. And she does. And we're going to get a middle, and it's going to go out of bounds. So the Comets, that was Kennedy Davis. Now Kennedy's one of the girls they're going to depend on. So Moeller comes out, Addie comes out, and Kylie Bekaric. They're really going to depend on Kylie. She's going to come in. And Brenna Benson's going to serve the ball over. And that is going to be 4 hits. So a good serve by Brenna Benson. Makes the score 2-2. Brenna, one of those girls, one of those seniors, one of those good athletes. And Brenna Benson serves it over. It's a bullet serve, but it goes into the net. So a net serve, 3-3. Serving the ball for the Tigers, into play front row will be Lexi Tidman. Serving the ball will be Lucy Anderson. And Lucy sails it away. Going to set up a middle. Dug in the back row by South Hardin. Tigers come with an outside hit. That's dug in the back row by Sereno. And it's going to be tipped over by BCLUW. Here comes South Hardin with a back set. And a nice save by Ramirez. It's going to be pushed over by Davis. Here come the Tigers. Short set in the middle. Pretty good, yes. Nice little short set in the middle with Lexi Tidman. You got Tidman, you got Anderson, you got Mintier, you got Thompson. All those girls can put the ball down. They got some good power, man. 4-3 here on KDAO. Lucy Anderson serves the ball. And Comets get it in the back row. That's going to be Bekaric, but she hit it into the net. Kylie Bekaric has to be one of the people this year. Olivia hurt her knee. So Kylie, a fine year last year, 158 kills. And that was behind Grace and Olivia. BCLUW down 5-3. Comets do a back set. And it's going to be a kill. They got a hand on it in the back row, but Kennedy Davis, who was a very good freshman last year, put it down. It's 5-4, 5-4. The Tigers lead. The Comets send it over. Almost an ace serve. That's a back row attack. Benson gets it in the back row for the Comets. Now it's going to be pushed over by Sereno. Tigers get to it. Another back row attack. Those are tough. And we're going to have a set, and we're going to have a hit at the net. That's good. It was blocked, but it fell for a point. Rain Sereno. So for the Comets, they know what they got with Kennedy Davis. They know what they got with the Bekaric, and they need some other girls to step up. 5-5. Short set. Tigers send it over the net. They pushed it over the net, and they got the kill. We're talking about Hadley Thompson. Hadley with 128 kills last year. Hadley, the junior, will serve. Into the Comet lineup comes Brooke Ward. You got to stay on top of things in volleyball. Now they're going to hold things up. We got a 6-5 game here. And we go 2 out of 3 to 25 here in this format. And then, of course, third obviously is 15. Okay, back row. Ward gets it. And that's going to be dug by South Hardin. They knock it over. Benson gets it. But it went off her hand, out of bounds. Point Tigers. 7-5. Tigers lead. Hadley Thompson sends it over. Ramirez. And that's going to be blocked at the net. That's a point as it fell on the Comet side of things. And that's Lexi Tidman. That's the size. She's 6 foot. That's the size that BCLUW does not have right now. And Tidman blocked it back in their face. Here's Hadley Thompson to serve the ball. Hadley serves it. Benson gets it in the back row for BCLUW. And let's see here. We're going to have Sereno knock it over. And the Tigers do a little back set. That's Tidman. And saved by Benson. And that's going to be... Oh, we have to do it over because the JV ball got in the way of the varsity court. So, (8-5) now. Brenna Benson sends it over. Tidman knocks it over. Here's a short set, and it's going to be blocked once again by Tidman. I tell you what, Lexi Tidman in the middle. She's a force at 6 foot. She blocked 2. Got a point out of it. 9-5 here. Coach Antis just likes to keep her timeouts in her pocket and let the kids play out of their problems. Hadley Thompson's going to serve the ball over. Comets come and chase it down. Brendan Benson knocks it over. And that's a back row attack by the Tigers. It's dug by Benson. And once again, a block by guess who? Tidman. She's having a game, man. She's having a game. And, before this game started, we said, that's the one thing that South Hardin has that at this point in time, BCLUW does not have. And that's the size factor, especially when Tidman is in the game. So Lixie entered the game, and I think she's had 3 blocks, 2 for points as a matter of fact, and it's 10-5 here on KDAO. So like I said, South Hardin, they were 12-20 last year, but a new coach, they didn't lose too many people. They had to find a setter, and that's Cook. Got a nice crowd. South Hamilton, a very good team from the heart of Iowa, will be here tonight after this game. Of course, BCLUW will play South Hamilton. And then South Hardin takes a rest. So, here's Hadley Thompson. Hadley having a good game tonight. Hadley lets it go. Almost an ace serve. That's a free ball. Knocked over, though, by BCLUW. Good save by Wayman. Knocked over. And that's going to be 4 hits called on BCLUW. A little out of sorts on offense, the Comets are. And here's Thompson to serve. Hadley sends it over. That's Benson in the back row. And that's going to be a tip over by Sereno. And it's good. So Rain Sereno, number 13, coming into the game for the Comets will be Layla Follett. And we all know Layla's a good athlete. Comets need some points. They're down by a score of 11-6. Wayman serves the ball over. Tigers get to it. Side hit. Back row. Benson. Good save. She's a good libero. There's a knock over in the back row by the Comets. Here come the Tigers with some power. Good save in the back row by Ward. And a hit over by the Comets. That's Doug. Sereno with that hit. And the Tigers just hit it out of bounds. So 11-7 as we unfold the season here in Eldora with a triangular. Never done one of these things before. Here's Wayman to serve. And she serves it out of bounds. Tigers get a point, 12-7. First one to 25. Ryland Cross. Comets have yet to get Pekarik involved in the offense. They need to change that. And Kylie did tip it over, but they're able to save it. And Benson saves a hard hit, pushed over, but that's going to be a carry. That's going to be a carry or 2 hits called on the Comets. Tigers with some very good balanced offense. Here's Ryland Cross. And Ryland Cross serves it over. That'll be that's inbounds as Benson kind of gave up on it, and it just hit the back gray strip by like 2 inches. 14-7 on KDAO. Tigers have some seasoning as they just played on Monday night. Okay, Comets are going to set up a hit. It's a good hit, but they're able to dig it. Now that was Follett who hit that one over, but the Tigers were able to get to it. Now Benson is going to send up Follett again, and she hits it out of bounds. So Comets making some mistakes, hitting some balls out of bounds. And then, to be quite honest, the Tigers are doing a good job of not letting that ball hit the floor too much. Here's Cross. Sends it over. Brenna Benson gets to it. Okay, back set, that's Pekarik. Got to get her going. Nice dig in the back row by the Tigers and Minter. And that's going to be a tip over by the setter. They were ready for that. Didn't fool her, Wayman. Now we're at the net. And here comes South Hardin. And a good block at the net by BCLUW. But then it goes down. So a good volley there. 16-7. And this is Ryland Cross. And that's going to go over on the other side of the net. So the Comets having some problems receiving serve and passing. And of course, if you can't pass, then that's kind of tough. And that's kind of what's happening right now. Okay, Ward gets it. It's going to be pushed over by Pekarik. Tigers get it in the back row. Here comes the side. Benson gets it. Good job by Brennan. Tigers get it in the back row. And, there's Tidman. And she puts it down. Comets tried to block it, but that was just not going to work. So Tigers winning the battle at the net, too. In comes Addie Moeller. Addie will play front row. It's 17-8. Tigers have a nice lead here. Tigers are going to set up a middle, but they misfired and they hit it into the net. Set wasn't the best. Ward tried to hit, Minter tried to hit it with her left hand, and that was awkward from the beginning. 17-9. Comets need some points here. This is Kylie Pekarik. Kylie will serve the ball for the Comets. They got to get her involved in the offense. She serves the ball into the back row to Minter. Okay, nice save by Wayman. Wayman's going to hit it over the net. Okay, here come the Tigers with a middle, but they hit it into the net. So 2 points in a row here as the Comets try to claw their way back into this thing. And they're down 17-10 in set number 1. 2 out of 3. Kylie Pekarik serves it over. There's a side. Nice save by Wayman. And now hit over by Follett. Here comes the back row by the Tigers. Dug by the Comets. Here's the side by the Comets, and it goes out of bounds. Actually, they say that the Tigers hit it. So the Tigers are going to immediately appeal it, but it does them no good. 17-11. So a big break here for the Comets as they claw their way back into this thing. And here comes Kylie Pekarik, the fine senior. And she'll serve the ball, 17-11. And Kylie sends it over. A serve. Good serve by Kylie. That's the first serve, actually, the Tigers have missed tonight. 17-12. Kylie sends another one over. That's Addie Minter in the back row. Tigers with a smash. Woo! Hit that baby hard. I think that was Lucy Anderson. She came from the right side, and she just smoked it. Here's Addie Mintier, freshman number 1 for the Tigers. So they get the point, and then they serve it out of bounds. So they give it right back to the Comets. It's 18-13. This is Rain Sereno. Of course, the bleachers are pushed back too here on this side, so it's kind of unusual. It's just kind of like a Saturday tournament, man. They're not playing this in another gym. Last year they played in JV gym, in a second gym. Okay, that's inbounds. That's a good middle hit by number 11, Lucy Anderson. Now, Tidman hasn't been in the game for a while. When she comes in, the Tigers really do a good job at the front of the net. Okay, here's Addie Cook to serve the ball for South Hardin. Oh, by the way, they lead by a score of 19-13. And Addie with a lobbing serve. Comets back up. Setter pushes it over. They were ready for that. And at the net, here come the Tigers with an attack. There's an outside Anderson. Yes. That's Emma Mintier. A lot of the girls look alike, with the dark ponytails. Okay, and this is the first time I've seen them play. Okay, 20-13 right now. Tigers have the lead. 2 good hits in a row by the Tigers. Comets need something, and they got it. There's an outside hit from the left side. That's Kennedy Davis. Kennedy was a good freshman last year. Of course, Kennedy and Kylie Pekarik, they were kind of secondary hitters behind Olivia and Grace Farnsworth. Grace graduated. Olivia had knee surgery, so those 2 girls are the girls at this point in time. Okay, BCLUW sends it over. There's another side hit, and that's going to be, I guess that's going to be a carry. I guess they're going to call Sereno for a carry. She tried to receive serve in the back row, but she got called for a carry. Rylan Cross will check in for the Tigers. 21-14 here on KDAO. Comets back up and get the serve. Here comes Ward. Good job. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Wayman. Wayman had 73 kills last year. Cambria. And she just put it down. So 21-15 here on KDAO. Tigers going to set up a kill, and they kill it. It was actually blocked at the net, and then there was no coverage in the secondary, so to say. So Lucy Anderson, who's going to serve it, gets the kill, and Lucy serves it 22-15. First game here. And Lucy serves it over. Brenna Benson gets to it. And it's going to be pushed over. And a net violation. Actually, it goes down. So that'll be a kill by 14, Kylie Pekarik. So it was good to get Kylie involved in the offense if you're BCLUW. Now the Comets will serve the ball. Almost an ace serve. There's Tidman. She tips it over. She's back in the front row. That changes a lot of things. And that's going to be a hit by Wayman. Tigers get to it. Tidman sends it over. Benson, good libero, gets it. And here's a tip into the net. So Sereno tipped it into the net. It's 23-16. In comes Brooke Ward. And Ward will receive serve. There's a back set. Hit over by Wayman. Okay, good dig in the back row by Ward for the Comets. Pushed over by BCLUW. Here's Tidman in the middle. Yes. When she's in there, she's a difference maker, man. So, game point to be served right now. Okay, Comets going to receive serve. They're going to push it over. It's going to be dug in the back row. There's a side hit. Dug by the Comets. Knocked over by Wayman. Tigers get it in the back row with Mintier. And it's going to be a block at the net and a point by Pekarik and also by Wayman. So a good teamwork right there. 24-17, still game point for the Tigers here. Here's Wayman to serve the ball for the Comets. She serves one over, hard serve. Tigers knock it over. And that'll be the point. And the point by Ryland Cross to make the score 25-17. So 25-17. That first set goes to South Hardin. See, I have a new scoreboard here, and I want to make sure it works. See, there's a lot of new things here for me. Not that you care, but there's a lot of new things. Now, first off, though, a couple of new things here. Of course, our matches are now on the Radio On The Go YouTube page, and I think you can still access it on KDAO.com. I mean, because we've been streaming, we started streaming games in the COVID year, always on KDAO.com, so I know it's a big change for everybody, but it's a good change, so hopefully you can find us on Radio On The Go YouTube, but I'm pretty sure if you are like me, hard habits are hard to break, you can still go to KDAO.com and get us hooked up. So, the first game goes to South Hardin. So the first game goes to South Hardin. They actually, it was nip and tuck, and then I tell you, they just kind of just started to pull away a little bit when Lexi Tidman came into the game. When Lexi Tidman came into the game, remember she had like 3 blocks and a kill, and all those things went for points. And all of a sudden, a little 7-5 lead went to 10-5, and then Coach Jantis had to call a timeout. And the Comets just need to kind of maybe clean up their mistakes a little bit. Of course, it's brand new. Like I said, even though they played a lot of summer league ball and Tuesday night leagues, still, this is the first time the bullets start to fly for real, and you can see, I think, just a little more seasoning that South Hardin brings to the table. Set 1 is in the books, and it's best 2 out of 3. 25-17 the score. I'll be back with set number 2 in Eldora on KDAO.
GNB Bank is a proud supporter of Grundy Center and surrounding communities. Count on your hometown team at GNB Bank for protection and all your customized banking needs. GNB Bank is there when you need them. GNB Bank, member FDIC, banking you can count on.
Farm Bureau Financial Services offers customized coverage for your farm, machinery, livestock, and more. All in one policy, one premium, and one deductible. Contact Farm Bureau agent Kyle Blom or sales associate Justin Teesing in Rhinebeck.
When your air conditioner, furnace, or plumbing fails, call Lon's Plumbing and Heating. For over 30 years, Lon's Plumbing and Heating in Rhinebeck has handled all your plumbing, air conditioning, and heating needs. Lon's Plumbing and Heating, your trusted local experts for more than 30 years.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio and also on your Radio on the Go YouTube page. I'm Chuck Carpenter, coming to you tonight from Eldora, and this is the first time we've ever done a triangular. A lot of teams are going to it, and South Hardin, a little bit more seasoning, a little bit more experience. You can kind of tell that. A little bit more size. You can definitely tell that when Tidman was in the game. But for everything, there's a beginning. That's what Mr. Spock said, in Star Trek 2. For everything, there's a beginning, and this was the beginning for BCLUW. So they scrapped, they clawed, but they had just a few more mistakes, and they didn't have as much power as South Hardin, and definitely Tidman hurt them with the size that she brought to the table. So, South Hardin with a 25-17 lead as they try to wrap this up in 2. And then right after this, we hope to visit with South Hardin Athletic Director Matt Thompson in between games, and then South Hardin will play South Hamilton. But, of course, if the Comets catch them, then we go to a third game. See, that's the way that goes. So, we're almost ready to go here. This is set number 2. And Tigers are going to serve. Tigers are going to receive serve. Going to send it over. Good block at the net by Moeller. Now that's going to be pushed over, and that's going to be a carry. Actually, 4 hits, I guess. Kennedy Davis tried to push it, and it just kind of hit the net, and then Moeller got a hand on it. That was enough to call the 4-hit violation thing. So Addie Cook is going to serve the ball. Addie's going to serve it over, and that's going to be blocked at the net. Good hit by Davis, but they blocked it at the net. Now the Comets run into each other, and now here come the Tigers. And here comes, I don't know what happened there because they hit it up in the air and then nobody came to get it. So that was a communication mistake there by the Tigers. And we have a 1-1 game. And serving the ball will be Sally Ramirez. for the Comets. And Sally serves it. Did a volleyball get in the way? I think a JV volleyball got in the way. Because, like I told you, I'm not lying. We're playing JV volleyball there on court 2. So, just in case I was lying. Here we back are on court number 1. And here comes Ramirez with the serve. And here come the Tigers with an outside hit. And that's going to be a kill. They got some power, man. That's Hadley Thompson. Thompson, 128 kills last year. Emma Mintier, 172 kills. Lucy Anderson, 121 kills. Tidman, 97 kills. So, yeah, they can bring it. Here's Emma Mintier to serve the ball for the Tigers. They're up by a score of 2-1. She serves it over. Brenna Benson, who's all over the place, gets it. Short set. Hit over by Davis. Not there. And I think we're going to have 2 hits called on the Comets. So a couple mistakes here by the Comets. They just, like I said, they got some new faces, and they don't have Olivia this year. So, just kind of learning as we go. Mintier serves it out of bounds. Tigers have not missed many serves. Brenda Benson, good libero. She's all over the place. Now here comes Kylie Pekarik. They really got to get Kylie involved in the offense. So dang well if they can get the ball back, they may try to set her up. So Benson serves that ball over the net. And Tigers get to it. Knocked over by Benson. Yes. Brenda doesn't get too many kills, but she found the opening there in the back court. As the Tigers were all bunched up to the front of the net, man. And Brenna with a kill. And now she's going to serve in a 3-3 game. That's a free ball. Pekarik. They're able to get it, though. They gave Pekarik a free ball, but they were able to recover. Okay, Ramirez is going to set up Pekarik over her shoulder. There's a back set, but it hit the antenna. BCLUW 4-3, trying to win a game here and then go 15. Brenna Benson serves the ball over. And the Tigers are going to get called for a carry. So now we got some mistakes going on here by the Tigers. They didn't make many mistakes in set number 1. They're making a few here, and it's costing them some points. 5-3 on KDAO. Brenna Benson serves the ball again. Here come the Tigers with an outside. They block it at the net. Good job, Pekarik. Benson gets it in the back row. Hits the top of the net, Davis, and it fell for a point. So Kennedy on the left outside of the net. So the Comets playing better volleyball here. Shaking off the rust. Benson, good serving man. 6-3. Comets lead. Brenna sends it into the back row. Tigers set up a middle or a side. When they do that, it's pretty hard to stop. That was cross. I mean, there was no defense at the net, and she just took advantage of it. Here's Lucy Anderson now, 6-4. Tigers are down 6-4, but they lead 1-0. And Lucy is going to serve the ball over, and she hits it into the net. So, they give it right back to the Comets. They give the Comets a point. 7-4 right now in Eldora. Starting the year off with a triangular. Never done one before. Only one this year. Here come the Tigers. Side row attack. Dug nicely by Davis. And then, guess who blocked that back in the face of the Comets? Yep, Tidman's in the front row. Wayman gives up about 4 inches, and when Lexi's in there, she's a difference maker. So she just blocks it. But they're going to give the point to the Comets. Okay. And then they hit it out of bounds. So the Tigers struggling, and coach is going to take a timeout. So I must have missed something there because it looked like Tidman just blocked the ball, but they gave the point to the Comets, and then the Comets got another point to make the score 9-4 because all of a sudden the Tigers are playing a little sloppy. They hardly made any mistakes in game 1. But they made some mistakes here. And the Comets have kept their mistakes to a minimum. The Tigers won the first game 25-17. After this, we'll probably keep it right here. We hope to visit with Mr. Thompson, the athletic director for South Hardin. That's what we hope to do anyway. And then we'll do BCLUW and South Hamilton. South Hamilton, a good team from the heart of Iowa. Okay, so Coach took a timeout. 9-4. There goes the JV volleyball on the varsity court. See, I want to say for the last couple of years, they've actually played the JV in a different gym. But not tonight. It's all in the high school gym. So, here we go. Davis is going to send it over. Here comes Tidman. Benson, great play. Benson saves it. I thought that was going to be a kill. Here's Backset. And another good save in the back row by Davis. Good defense here by the Comets. And that's going to be a hit by the Comets. Again, a nice save by Davis in the front row. Benson gets to it now, and unfortunately, a good volley is spoiled because the JV ball got into the mix. That was a good volley, man. Good defense by both teams. And so the Comets will reset and reserve. And the Comets send it over. Tigers are going to set up a side. Nice dig in the back row by Davis. Going to be knocked over, and it goes down. So Comets are finding the openings. That was by 13, Rain Sereno. But that all got started because Kennedy Davis made a couple of nice plays on defense. 10-4 on KDAO. Tigers need some points. Here's an outside, and it goes way out of bounds. Comets on a roll as they're up by a score of 11-4. As the Tigers have just been hitting the ball out of bounds. And then really good back row defense here by the Comets. Man, that was a tough serve by Davis, but they do get it. Tigers send one over from the back row. That's Benson. Set by Ramirez. Off balance hit by Wayman. Tigers get to it. There's a side again, but it goes out of bounds. So the Tigers just helping BCLUW out with a lot of points. It's 12-4 here on KDAO as the Comets try to tie this baby up. Davis sends another one over. That's going to be hit in the side. That's Benson. She gets it for the Comets. That's Wayman. Yes. They gave a back set to Wayman. And number 8 came through. She was the setter last year. 13-4. And, oh, by the way, a little bit more balance here for BCLUW in set number 2. Now, that's the only mistake they've made, really. That's going to be a out-of-bounds serve by Davis. And the Tigers need some points. Here's Hadley Thompson. They're down by a score of 13-5. And Hadley Thompson serves it into the net. So, Tigers make a mistake and give it right back to the Comets. And here's Wayman. Wayman serves it. 14-5. Comets with a nice lead here. Okay, got another JV ball. So that's starting to become a problem. $14-5 on KDAO. This could be a long night. Wayman serves it out of bounds. Now the Tigers need to make him pay. Here's Cross. It's 14-6, by the way. Tigers are down to the Comets. Benson in the back row. And they block it out of bounds. Okay, the hit was by Follett. And the Tigers didn't make a very good effort to block it, and they just kind of blocked it out of bounds. So 15-6 here. And Kylie Pekarik serves the ball for BCLUW. Kylie sends it over. That's Mintz here in the back row. There's a side, and once again, it goes out of bounds. So Tigers must be pressing, I don't know. But they're in a lot of trouble as they're down 16-6 here in set number 2. And the Comets serve the ball over. That's Pekarik. And a good set over by the setter as she tipped it over. A good job there by Addie Cook. And serving the ball now is going to be Addie Minter. 16-7. Tigers need some points. Minter with a lobbing serve. There's a back set, and that's a hit out of bounds. I'm sorry. Tigers got called for a net violation. That would have been a hit out of bounds, but they got called for a net violation. Some mistakes here. And it's 17-7. And here's Sereno. And that's an ace serve. Rain with an ace serve. 18-7 right now. And that is out of bounds. So an ace serve and then a hit out of bounds. And the Tigers seriously need some points here. As 3, Cook is going to serve the ball. And Cook serves the ball over. Wayman in the back row gets it. And then it goes out of bounds. Hit out of bounds by BCLUW. Okay, Addie Cook to serve it. And here comes Davis with a pushover. And then Benson gets to it. Short set in the middle. Moeller hits it out of bounds. They gave Addie Moeller a short set, but she hit it out of bounds. It's 18-9 right now. And Tigers are going to serve it. There's Davis in the middle, but it went into the net. So a couple of mistakes in a row here. 11-18. Tigers are down. Benson gets to it for BCLUW. She's a good libero. Going to be knocked over. And a net violation called on the Tigers. That should make the score 19-11 Comets. And serving the ball is 2, Ramirez. A lot of these girls kind of role players. A lot of these girls, though, did step on the state tournament last year and some the year before. Okay, a lobbing serve in the middle. Of course, they're a different team without Tidman in there. Here comes Davis as she pushes it over. Good. Really depended on Kennedy this year. She was a nice hitter last year as a freshman with 107 kills. But like I said, no Grace Farnsworth and no Olivia Peters. So these girls got to take on a bigger role. 20-11 on KDAO. Comets lead. And here comes that should have been 4 hits. But instead, it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be last touch by South Hardin. It should have been called for 4 hits, but they hit it out of bounds anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And now it's 21-11. And Tigers set up a middle. They push it in the back row. Benson, though, gets one hand on it, and that's it. Out of bounds, last touch by the Tigers, 21-12. They have a lot of room to go here. And serving the ball will be Emma Mintier. And the Comets get to it. There's Davis, but she hits it out of bounds. Did anybody touch it? I guess not. 21-12. Here comes Emma Mintier to serve the ball for South Hardin. They're 1-0 on the year. First competition for the Comets. Mintier. Benson gets to it. Here's the side, but it goes into the net. A side hit by Wayman. She loaded up, but she hit it into the net. Oh, actually, I guess it did fall for a point. I'm sorry. Okay. So Benson's going to serve the ball over. And that's going to be blocked by the Comets, and then it goes into the net. So good defense at the net there by your 2 of your leaders, Pekarik and Davis. So they got the block, 23-13 here. Benson serves a short one over, And that's going to be not an ace serve, but on the second one, it hit the floor. So here we go. It's 24-13. Tigers trying to force a game 3 where you go to 15. They've pretty much dominated this second game here. Benson hits it into the net. So the Tigers still alive, but they have a long ways to go. It's 24-14. No margin of error. Here's Lucy Anderson. Lucy Anderson serves the ball over. Comets get to it. And that's going to be a side hit by Davis. Dug in the back row. Here come the Tigers. Good block at the net by Pekarik. And let's see here. We're going to have Wayman send it over, and it fell in bounds in the back row. Good job by Wayman. And the Comets get the victory. 25-14. I think. So the girls were headed off the court. Okay, 25-14. Yes, that is sorry. That is the score. And BCLUW ties this thing up. They pretty much dominated. I mean, they get off to a good start right away. I don't know if it was rust. I don't know what the heck it was. But the Comets kind of struggled a little bit there in that first game. But in the second game, they flushed their mistakes. And it was actually South Hardin that was making the mistakes out there. And then just BCLUW got a lot more people involved in the offense. Kennedy Davis, very good. Got to give a shout out to Brendan Benson all over the place. But I just think, we talked about cleaning up your game, and the Comets just stopped making mistakes. And then the Tigers, the Comets, of course, earned 25 points, but the Tigers also gave them a lot by just hitting a ton out of bounds. So here's the deal. It's 2 out of 3 games to 25, and this third set, and it will go to 15. And then after it's over, we hope to visit with Mr. Thompson. And then we're going to do South Hamilton and BCLUW. So never done a triangular before. So I'm just kind of learning as I go. But the gym is air conditioned, so that's all good. So we got a tie game here in the first one. South Hardin won 25-17, and then BCLUW pretty much dominated the second game and won by a score of 25-14. So we're going to take a short little break here on KDAO Radio. Also, you're watching this on Radio on the Go YouTube. I think you can still access that through the KDAO website. So hopefully you're enjoying the action, and I'll be back with set 3. Remember, we're going to go to 15. We're tied up. South Hardin BCLUW, some good volleyball here in Eldora. I'll be back after this on KDAO and on your Radio on the Go YouTube.
The Eldora Hy-Vee store offers large town variety with small town friendliness. Find everything you need from fresh produce and quality meats to bakery favorites and everyday essentials. The Eldora Hy-Vee store, big selection, hometown service.
Show your school pride every time you shop with the People's Savings Bank School Pride debit card. Choose from AGWSR, Dike New Hartford, or Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Every swipe helps support your local schools. Stop by any PSB location and get yours today. Member FDIC.
RTU doesn't just serve Rhinebeck. We've brought high-speed internet to rural Grundy and Tama counties, and we're soon going to be in Traer. Your hometown provider, growing with the community. RTU. Learn more at rhinebeck.net. Did you know Partner Communications offers electrical services? From changing lights to wiring a new home, we can help. We have free estimates. You can call Partner today at 641-498-7701.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio. And also you're watching this on KDAO.com or, on the on-the-go Radio on-the-go YouTube. It's different for me, but we're still doing volleyball. And, of course, after this one, we got another volleyball match at 6:30. No more triangulars. I'll be doing West Marshall and Madrid on Monday. But tomorrow night we have a really, really good football game. We're going to be over in State Center doing South Hardin and West Marshall. So here, now it's 1st to 15, so that's always fun. And we're all tied up at 1 apiece. And South Hardin is going to serve the ball. And that's going to be Cook. Now, the other thing, Tidman didn't play that much. So Tidman played a lot in the first game, and she was the difference maker. Didn't play that much here in the second game. So there you go. Okay, got a hit in the middle. Yes, Tigers, it wasn't Tidman, but it was number 11, Lucy Anderson. 1-0. Lucy with a point. Addie Cook will serve it for the Tigers. Cook with a cross-court serve. Picked up by Sereno. That's Davis. She blasted, but a good save in the back row by Mintier. And that's going to be hit out of bounds. The last touch by the Comets. A good kill by Mintier. The Tigers just didn't get a lot of balls down in that first game. Hit a lot out of bounds. When they get them inbounds, man, they can be tough. That's what we're seeing right now. Here's Addie Cook. Cook serves it. Okay. Comets going to set up Davis from the left side. She's going to tip it over. Doug, and then into the net. Davis having a good game. Kennedy, I remember her as a freshman last year. Cut her teeth as a freshman, and 2-1 is the score. One of those girls asked to play a bigger role this year, you know. Okay, here come the Tigers with it outside. They hit it way out of bounds. That was a problem in the second game, and Thompson hit it out of bounds. It wasn't a problem for them in the first game. In the second game, it was. So, 2-2 on KDAO. Who's going to serve the ball? Oh, it's going to be Sally Ramirez. Ramirez is going to serve the ball for the Comets. Bleachers on this side kind of get pushed up a little bit, so sometimes seating is as a premium. Okay. BCLUW blocked that hit out of bounds. It was hit by Emma Mintier, and they blocked it, but it went out of bounds. First to 15, you know. 3-2 on KDAO. South Hardin with the lead. South Hardin with the lead. Emma Mintier serves the ball over. Comets hit it over into the back row, and it falls for a point. Wayman had 73 kills last year as a sophomore. She put it down. They couldn't come up with it. It's a 3-3 game. It's the first to 15. Brenna Benson serves it over. Brenna Benson with an ace serve. Dang good player. (4-3). Brenna serves another one over. Tigers get to that. Tigers with a side hit. And it's good. Gap through the blocks. And now the Tigers will serve the ball with Lucy Anderson. Lucy, by the way, got the kill on that one. Anderson. Okay, here comes Pekarik. Hasn't been involved too much in the offense, but this time she tips it home. Kylie, 158 kills last year. Comets with a 5-4 lead here. First 15 wins this match. Then we'll do the Comets and South Hamilton, a very good team from the heart of Iowa. Here comes Kennedy Davis. She's had a good game. Kennedy Davis serves that ball over, and that's almost an ace serve, but the Tigers do a good job getting to it. Short set, Pekarik, yes. Okay, that's the stuff Pekarik can do. So she's all pumped up. 6-4. I mean, you get Pekarik involved. She's just had a quiet night on offense. Okay, another serve by BCLUW. And here comes South Hardin as they hit it into the back row, and that's going to be Benson. Short set, Pekarik. They were ready for that. Tidman tips it over. And here come the Comets with an outside, dug by the Tigers. Here's a middle, but it goes into the net. Good defense here by the Comets. It's a 7-4 lead here for BCLUW trying to win this thing. Okay, serving the ball is Kennedy Davis. There's a back row attack. Great play by Benson in the back row. Here's a side hit, and it's going to be good. Side hit Wayman, so a lot of girls involved in the offense here. So Wayman gets the kill. Now it's 8-4, first to 15, you know. Davis sends it over. That's going to be an ace serve. They just gave up on it in the back row. And a good job by Kennedy Davis. 9-4 right now. Got a timeout. Comets with good body language. Like I said, you know, they've been to state 3 years in a row, and it's new, and I know it was a shock when Olivia went down with that knee. She will return to be a manager, but, you know, they had to kind of reset things a little bit. And that first game, some growing pains as they lost 25-17, but then they just flipped the switch and then they just kind of dominated that second game. Now, Tidman's not been playing in this game. She was a real difference maker, man, in that first game. So after the timeout, and it's pretty much been a team effort here for the Comets. 9-4. South Hamilton, who has size and power and plays in that good conference, they're next here on this court against BCLUW. Okay, so back to business, and we've got Kennedy Davis serving the ball. We've got a back row attack, dug by the Comets. It's going to be pushed over by the Comets, and good. And honestly, the Tigers just kind of stood around. Sereno knocked it over, and the Tigers just kind of stood around. 10-4 on KDAO. Kennedy Davis gets ready to serve the ball. Kennedy Davis serves that ball over. Here come the Tigers. They block it at the net, and it's going to be 4 hits. Pekarik with a block. She had a little assist from Wayman, and the Comets pulling away right now. We got an 11-4 ball game. That's Tidman in the game. So she comes in and puts one down. She didn't play much in the set 2, and BCLUW dominated. Now she's back in the front row. And, of course, the Tigers got to get all their serves in. And this is Thompson, Hadley. And Hadley to Benson. And Benson knocks it over. There's Tidman. She tips it. Yes. The Comet players went one way. Tidman saw that. She pushed the ball another way. And it's now 11-6. And the Tigers will serve the ball, and they will. Okay, that's going to be a side hit by Wayman. And it goes out of bounds. Tigers creeping back into it. It's 11-7. Ramirez is going to serve the ball. I'm sorry. Tigers are going to serve the ball. Comets put it over. That's Sereno. Tigers from the back row. Sereno gets to it. And we're going to have a do-over because, guess what? A JV ball got onto the court. And now Megan Yantis is directing her JV players to get up and guard the ball from coming over. That's a pretty good job. That's a good job. That's a good idea by Coach Yantis. Anyway, so that's almost an ace serve, but Benson's going to get to it, and she's going to knock it over the net. Tigers get to it in the back row. And here comes the Tiger attack. It's blocked at the net. Good job. Pekarik gets to it. And there's going to be a hit by Wayman. And they're going to go the other way now. Tigers can't get the hand on it. In the back row, that's Sereno. And that should make the score 12-7. So 12-7 is the score. And a serve by BCLUW. Pekarik at the net. And then the Comets hit it out of bounds. They pushed it into the back row. It fell for a point. 12-8 here. And the Tigers serve the ball. And here comes the hit. And that's going to be 4 hits called on BCLUW. So the Tigers, again, just kind of crawling back into this thing at 12-9. Served over by Cross. Benson gets to it. Benson gets up, sends it over the net. Tigers get to it. There's Ted Lexi, and she hits it out. She hits it inbounds. So that makes the score 12-10. And a timeout called by Coach Yantis. I'll be back after this on KDAO.
This is Ben Ferris from Ferris Insurance Agency, your local American Family Insurance agent. We offer home, auto, and life insurance through American Family. We serve Iowa Falls, Eldora, and the surrounding counties. Find us across from Hy-Vee in Iowa Falls or on Highway 175 in downtown Eldora.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio, also on your Radio on the Go YouTube page. I'm Chuck Carpenter. And I think we may have a long night tonight as this game is going the limit. And BCLUW had the big lead. Now it's not so big anymore. The score is 12-10. And Coach Yancey just took a timeout. And Rylan Cross is going to serve the ball for the Tigers, and she does, and Benson gets it in the back row. Going to set up Bekaric. They're able to dig that. Here comes a side hit by the Tigers. And here comes a hit by BCLUW. And they're able to dig that, knocked over by the Tigers. Back row. Here's Follett from the side. They dig that in the back row. Here come the Tigers. And Benson is going to set up Sereno. But she goes into the, South Hardin goes into the net. Okay, 13-10. So South Hardin just went into the net. And there's a serve, and there's Tidman, and she hits it out of bounds. So now, match point to be served right now for BCLUW. And they serve it over, but it goes into the net. Okay, so Bekaric knocks it into the net. Now it's 14-11. Tigers can't afford to serve it in out of bounds. Addie Mintier is going to serve it. And that's going to be Sereno. And she puts it down and good. And the Comets get the victory. 15-11. Well, some other girls really stepped up. You know, before this game started, we said, well, you know, we know that the Comets have Davis. And we know that the Comets have Bekaric. But they also need some other people. And some other people did step up. We're talking about Ramirez, and we're talking about Follett, and we're talking about Wayman, and we're talking about Sereno. So those girls just did a fine job of stepping up. Now, what's going to happen here is we hope to get Coach Thompson up here to do a little interview. Because right now, BCLUW is going to be playing South Hamilton. So South Hamilton is going to play BCLUW. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the same court. That would be a cruel joke if it's on a different court. So, hopefully Coach Thompson will come up and do an interview. Comets win. I'll be back after this.
In Ziering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for high-speed fiber internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. Gallagher Insurance, Risk Management and Consulting is a leading global insurance brokerage and consulting firm. Visit Gallagher at 11 East Church Street in Marshalltown or call 641-752-4618.
24 years of honest work and fair prices. Matt Schuyler and Jason at Eldora Tire and Alignment have the know-how to keep your vehicle running right this fall. a dealer of hand-cooked tires. That's Eldora Tire and Alignment, Highway 175 East Eldora. Experience you can trust.
Ellsworth Community College is preparing students for success with affordable education and hands-on learning. Whether you're starting your college journey or preparing for a career, Ellsworth Community College is here to help you succeed. Colotel Fiber is connecting Iowa communities to the future. Enjoy reliable fiber internet with managed Wi-Fi, unlimited use, and no data caps. Colotel Fiber, fast, reliable, and local.
Okay, welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio and on your Radio on the Go YouTube page. And be quite honest, this is the this is the one thing that got me. We're doing a triangular meet, and oh, by the way, BCLUW just wrapped things up as it went the full limit. And BCLUW won the thing in 3 games. And it was 25-17, South Hardin won. And then BCLUW, okay, so they put up 13 minutes. So I'm really hoping that Coach Thompson can come up and do an interview, because we have 13 minutes to kill. As South Hamilton will take a full warm-up. So we're not going to start this match for another, I guess, 13 minutes. So that's kind of what's going on there. Okay. So we're trying to figure out how we go to do this. See, that's the thing with these triangulars. Just a little unsure how these things work, and I guess they're going to give them a full warm-up. I wasn't expecting that. So hopefully Mr. Thompson will arrive. And our next match here is going to be, you can see the BCLUW girls. They're not doing much of a warm-up, but they're going to give South Hamilton, all their warm-up time. And South Hardin, they lose their first match tonight. And the final score there was, they won the first game, looked pretty good doing it, 25-17. Then the Comets shook off the rust, stopped making mistakes, and won 25-14, and then they won 15-11. So whatever rust they had going on, they definitely took care of that. And they got a lot of girls involved in the offense, like Kennedy Davis and the Wayman girl and the Ramirez girl. And that's what happened there. So Mr. Thompson has arrived, and I apologize, Mr. Thompson. With triangulars, I just never know how these things are going to go. So I've got
to do starting lineups in.
What's that?
I got to do starting lineups in like 12 minutes too.
Okay, so 12 minutes. So we can do an interview, and you can give me like 8 minutes. Oh, by the way, I have South Hardin Athletic Director. That's Mr. Matt Thompson on the program. He's going to help us not kill a little time, but we're going to chit-chat about a few things here as we get ready for this second match here in this triangular meet on KDAO. So, Mr. Thompson, hey, listen, thanks for coming up today. I got a lot of things to cover. Now, first off, Matt, is it nice this year that we have a tennis program back for girls? I mean, if nothing else, I always felt bad for them driving down to Marshtown, but we have a tennis program back, so that's nice. That's a good place to start, I think.
Yeah, we had some girls that were interested. We struggled to find a coach at the very beginning, last year when they switched it, and this year we had some girls that were interested, and we, Angie Cook, kind of volunteered and stepped up, said she would coach it. Not volunteer, but decided to coach, which was great because we just didn't have that person. And, we've got 12 girls out for tennis as a result. And they've had a year off, so they're not at the top of their game because they haven't had a team, but they're learning every match and every meet and every practice. So, I think they're really having fun with it. Okay, now I will forewarn you, all of our questions tonight will be about fun, except the last one may give you a headache, okay? It's always the last one. And if you say that's a Mr. Fenster question, that'll be fine. Now, the other thing is, Matt, and this is never a negative question, but I just never remember having these conversations with you before COVID, which was like 7 years ago, and that's just officials, okay? Now, every once in a while, right after COVID, you heard some officials, some older ones weren't getting into it. We needed some younger ones. Remember we started doing a lot of varsity doubleheaders because we just didn't have enough officials. Unfortunately, we can't call Mr. Moore anymore to officiate, so that's tough. But this year, when it comes to our
our football, and maybe that's a different animal when it comes to football, to volleyball, things like that? Are we doing okay with officials or not so much at any level?
I think we are doing okay. The varsity level is not bad. I know football is kind of a struggle. Some schools have gone to Thursday because there's so many Friday night games. And a lot of these crews have assigners that assign them to certain games. So the assigner just says, there's 100 games on this Friday night, and I've got 90 sets of officials. So someone's got to go to a Thursday, so those guys can work a Thursday game and a Friday game. Volleyball isn't as bad varsity-wise. I feel like it's going to get there, though, soon. I think all the other sports are getting there really close. I think in 10 years it's really, really going to be a problem. We don't have very many young officials. Right now, kind of like you alluded to, we've had 3 guys that have done a tremendous job for the last 17, 18 years for me from Eldora. Pat Ryans, Sam DeVilder, Randy Thorne over in Grundy. They did tons of football stuff for me, tons of basketball stuff for me, but they're just retirement age and they don't want to run down the court, which does really put a hurt on lower level basketball officials, lower level football officials to try and get those games covered. And that's where we're seeing more of our struggle.
I guess I never thought about that, Coach, because you know me, I go season to season, and I say to myself, you know what, I'm not going to worry about basketball and wrestling until maybe I get into November. But in your world, Matt, you always got to be constantly thinking ahead. I don't know if you're hiring officials for track yet, but you're already trying to lock down schedules and get your officials for the wintertime. So you always have to be forward thinking in your world, don't you, sir?
Yeah, we've already got track officials for this spring. We've already got basketball officials for the winter, and we're working on baseball, softball officials for next year, just because the number of people are so few that we really got to work ahead and try and get those games covered as quickly as we can.
Okay, Matt, and just in a nutshell, now, honestly, full disclosure here, I'll see your football team on Friday night. We're going to do the game with West Marshall,
yep, great.
and I see the girls here. And like, again, we see this in football with the smaller schools. They have to cancel because of low numbers, and I know sometimes numbers do affect JV games. Like, I know we're not going to play a JV game on Friday, but my point is, Coach, when you take a look, and you've already alluded to the tennis thing, and I saw some girls and boys, for cross country. But are the numbers pretty good for for volleyball and football this year for South Hardin?
Yeah, our numbers aren't bad for those two groups. Cross country's down a little bit. We only have 2 girls in cross country, 6 boys. So those numbers are down from what we've been in the past. So it is a little harder. I know we're not going to play JV against West Marshall on Monday for football. So it's even they're kind of feeling that crunch, and as you kind of look at different social medias and news sources, there's 4 varsity football programs that aren't having a season this year as of the end of August. So it's interesting that the ups and downs of even athletic participation.
Okay, Matt, listen, we're down to 2 minutes because you got to go and you got to do lineups. But real quickly, in 45 seconds, is the field house everything we thought it would be?
Yeah, it turned out fantastic. The restrooms are awesome. It's so nice to have locker rooms for officials and teams down there all in one spot. The video board is phenomenal for track and for football, and the lights are great.
Okay, and maybe a Mr. Fencer question. Are we going to see 8th graders at the varsity level? What do you think, Matt? That's a big thing.
No. Our school boards have kind of decided that we don't want to take away from our middle school programs, and we want to keep them strong and keep our program strong.
Okay, Matt, listen, I really appreciate you coming up here. Thank you very much, Mr. Thompson. And he's going to run down now. He is running, okay? So Mr. Thompson's going to run down, and he's going to do the starting lineup. So I really want to thank Mr. Thompson. Like I said, it's just kind of a little uncharted territory for us here doing these triangular matches. This will be the only triangular match that we do this year. So they give everybody, and understandably so, they gave South Hamilton the full warm-up. So we're almost ready to go, in about 3 or 4 minutes. And so, so this will be our second match tonight, and we got BCLUW and South Hamilton. Now, I don't think these teams ever crossed paths with each other in the regular season. Obviously, last year, probably up here they did. But good tradition. Of course, South Hamilton, they come from that Heart of Iowa conference, and everybody's good in that Heart of Iowa. Well, the Nevada team, coached by the former Abby Stevenson, the former BCLUW coach. They're an up-and-coming team. Rolling Story is always dang good, okay? And then this South Hamilton outfit, they were very good last year. As we take a look at their record last year, they were 19-14 in the Heart of Iowa. And they've already played some competition this year, and they've got size coming back here. So they're going to be a handful tonight for BCLUW, who just had a very nice win over BCLUW. And those scores, once again, it went the full 3. So, again, this is probably going to be kind of a late night here tonight. The scores were South Hardin won the first set, 25-17. Then BCLUW dominated, winning 25-14. And then it was 15-11. So we'll see what happens here with BCLUW and South Hamilton. And again, just a little bit about South Hamilton. They come into this thing. Now, they were actually at the Roland Story Little Invitational. That was this past Monday. They lost 2 games to 1 to Webster City. They beat Central Springs 2 games to none. They lost to Roland Story 2 games to none. Good team. Last year, tough Heart of Iowa Conference. You know, they had a record of 19-14, and they're very experienced. They have good size. They've got a couple of really good hitters named Tessa Scartfeed. Now, they did lose 4 hitters, but they got their leading hitter back last year. And then they had their setter back last year. So it's always good when you have a setter back. We're talking about Aaliyah Erickson. So she'll be the center. They may run a 6-2, I'm not sure, because I think Amerman is also a center too. But they do need to find some firepower. Now they have the one really good hitter. I know her. She's a 6'1" girl. No, by the way, that's the other thing that could give BCLUW some problems, and that's the size factor. Because even though BCLUW ended up winning in 3, they really, really turned it on when the Tidman girl was not playing for South Hardin. When the Tidman girl, who's 6 foot for South Hardin, played, they were a difference. And now the South Hamilton team, they actually have 3 6-footers, okay? The Scartfeet girl, we'll keep our eye on her, number 2. The Scartfeet girl, she's 6'1", okay? And then they have a junior in Martinson, if she plays, and she's 6 foot. Then they have a Sloan girl who's 6 foot. So they've got some size, and we did see that size give some problems to BCLUW. So this will be the second match tonight. And then we still have a third match tonight. We have a third one we're going to do. And, of course, that'll be South Hardin. They get a break right now, and they'll play South Hamilton. So this is the only triangular that I do. So I can't ever say ever again I've never done a triangular meet. So the Comets are going to take a token little warm-up here. And South Hamilton is already completed their warm-ups. And I think I'll take a little break here. I'll be back with maybe the starting lineups. We are in Eldora tonight on this Thursday night. And it's Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio and also on Radio on the Go YouTube. I'll be back after this on KDAO.
Greenbelt Bank and Trust.
Offices in Iowa Falls, Ackley, Grundy Center, Eldora, Belmont, and Parkersburg. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Greenbelt Bank and Trust. Small town, big hearts.
Leading the way.
D&B Agrisystems has the grain storage, handling, and conditioning equipment you need. From site planning and design to installation and service, their experienced team is ready to help. Plus, pre-season equipment checks help keep you running smoothly. D&B Agrisystems, ready for harvest, ready to serve you.
Cooley Pumping and Sanitation is family-owned and offers septic pumping, drain cleaning, portable restrooms, inspections, dumpsters, and roll-offs. Cooley Pumping and Sanitation, experienced, dependable, and ready to help. Napa Farmers Feed and Supply in Rhinebeck is your local source for auto repair, tire repair, oil changes, and on-the-farm tire service. Call 319-788-2000.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio. Also on YouTube, Radio on the Go YouTube. I know that's a new page for people, but I think you can still go to KDAO.com and find the link and get you all hooked up. So we're getting ready to start the second match tonight, the second of our triangular in Eldora. It's going to be the South Hamilton Hawks from the Heart of Iowa against BCLUW. Now BCLUW, and of course, like I said earlier, got that great tradition, went to state the last 3 years in a row. They are rated 11th in Class 1A, and in the first game against South Hardin, you could kind of tell, they were just kind of new varsity and struggled just a little bit, made some mistakes, but then they turned it on, they cleaned up their game, got a lot of girls involved in the offense, put the pressure on South Hardin. South Hardin, they actually made some mistakes, and they won that thing in 3. So I think this will be a very, very good match. Now, the thing with South Hamilton, as I mentioned, they've got size. Now, they did lose 4 hitters, but they got their senior back in Tessa Scartfeet, okay? And so she's going to be a tough cookie. We've got to watch out for her, number 2. And And like I said, they've already had a little seasoning here as they've already played on Monday. And both these teams will end up in tournaments on Saturday. I believe BCLUW does a Bondurant for our tournament. And then I believe that South Hamilton does a Clarion Goldfield tournament. So I think that's what's going on for these teams on Saturday. And then, of course, BCLUW, they'll be hosting a little tournament 1 week from Saturday. They have a big common invitational at the end of the year, but then they always have like a little dual team thing with like North Polk, South Tama, etc. And I wonder if they'll be using the auxiliary gym next Saturday. Well, anyway, enough about that. Now, as we mentioned, we've got varsity on one court, and if you're watching this on the YouTube page, so you don't think I'm lying, they're playing JV on that other court, you know. So we are almost ready to go. This will be the second match tonight. So, yeah, we're a little behind schedule because that first one went 3. And, of course, they gave, understandably, so South Hamilton, you know, a full warm-up. Cambry Sloan is a 5'11 hitter, number 13. Number 20 is Rhea Vanderpool. She's a senior. Their senior-dominated team. Stella Martinson, she's a 6-footer. She's number 8. Number 12 is Rebecca Swenson. Number 5 is Aaliyah Erickson. She'll be the setter. And number 4 is the libero. And, of course, Tessa Skarkved, great senior. Number 2, Sally Ramirez, sophomore, BCLUW. 21, Addie Moeller, junior, BCLUW. 4, Kennedy Davis, junior. Senior, Kylie Pekarik for the Comets. Number 8, Cambria Wayman, Cambria, junior. And Brenda Benson, who was all over the place as the libero. And 13, Rain Sereno. But what do we always say though about volleyball? You don't you don't get caught up in a starting lineup. Now obviously the girls that start in volleyball, you know, they earn it. But you don't get caught up in the starting lineup in volleyball because along with everything else it's all about rotation. Now, hopefully after this match is over, we'll have a chance to visit with BCLUW girls volleyball coach Megan Yantis. You know, I put Coach Easton and I put Coach Kyle in charge of having her come up before they get on the bus. So now we're ready to go. BCLUW has one win tonight, and of course after this match, then we have another match, and that'll be South Hardin and South Hamilton. BCLUW started slow in the first set, but then they flushed their mistakes, got girls involved in the offense, took advantage of mistakes. And again, just a little concerned about the size this team brings to the table, like Tessa Skarkved, number 2, 6'1". Martinson, 6 foot, number 8, 6 foot Sloan, 18. So South Hamilton will serve the ball. And this is Sloan to serve it. And she does. In the back row, here comes Kennedy. They block it at the net. Going to set up Kennedy Davis again. She tips it over the block. South Hamilton gets to it. Set up a side hit. It's going to be dug nicely by Sereno. And there's Ramirez in the back row. Her ball hit the back row. Out of bounds. Last touch by the Hawks. So Sally Ramirez, she's a sophomore. Just, one of those younger girls asked to play a bigger role this year. Ramirez sends one over. That's almost an ace serve. South Hamilton sends it over. Good. Not very good defense that time by BCLUW. They just kind of stood around. That was an easy kill by Rebecca Swenson. South Hamilton played 3 matches on Monday over in Story City. So they have some seasoning. And they're going to serve the ball. And it's a cross-court serve. And that's going to be Addie Moeller. Addie hit it into the net. Of course, Comets have a new setter this year. Olivia out with the knee injury. So it's just a new look lineup here for BCLUW. Comets go to receive serve. Kennedy Davis hits it over the block. Good job, but they're able to dig that. Then they hit it into the net. Kennedy Davis having a really, really nice game. She really started turning it on in set 2 in the first one against South Hardin. Now here's Brenna Benson. She's been impressive tonight. Brenna sends one over. Almost an ace serve, but they do flip it over to the Comet side of the net. Benson gets it in the back row. Comets are going to do a middle hit, and that is going to be dug by South Hamilton. There's Scartfeet, but a nice dig by Ramirez. There's Kennedy Davis on the side, and Scartfeet gets that. And here's a side hit, and didn't get through the blocks. Good digging by the Comets. There's Davis. Good volley here. And here comes Scartfeet from the side. Yes. She's one of those girls, when she loads up and hits it, you say, because it just looks like she's going to smoke that thing home, and she did. Very good. She had darn near 300 kills last year. So they got to try to figure out something on her. Ammerman will serve the ball for the Hawks. Ammerman serves it over. That's Benson in the back row. There's a set and goes into the net. So Davis went into the net. Looks like Ramirez is the setter this year for BCLUW. South Hamilton threw the ball to BCLUW, but I don't know why, because they're serving the ball. So now they have the ball back. 4-2. Hawks lead. Now that ball just went out of bounds. So South Hamilton is the home team. Sorry. And South Hamilton. So that's going to be an ace serve by Davis. And we got a 4-4 game here. And Kennedy Davis serves the ball over. And we've got a rotation violation. Okay, so South Hamilton, they're the visitors. I apologize. Okay. South Hamilton, they're the visitors. I knew I'd make some mistakes here in a triangular. So South Hamilton is the visitors. And a rotation violation by BCLUW. 5-4 is the score. BCLUW going to set up a little tip over. Scartfeet gets to it. They're going to do a back set. And Doug. And there's Wayman. And here is South Hamilton sending it over. Ramirez tips it over. They were ready for that. Here comes the side, and it got through the blocks. Well, they double blocked her, but a good hit by number 9, Trask. 6-4 now, South Hamilton. They put up a double block, too. They got good size, this team does. Led by Scartfeet, ace serve. So an ace serve, Willow Collins, outstanding, 8th grader this past summer on softball. Couldn't catch up to it. And the liberos go to serve it right now. Willow gets to it. And there is a ball that gets through the net, gets through the blocks, by 13, Rain Sereno. So Kylie Pekarik comes in. South Hamilton has a lead of 7-5. And BCLUW serves the ball over. And they tip it over. Benson was ready for that, but somebody's going to get called for a carry. Actually, it's going to be over the net. So that'll be a point for BCLUW. And they now trail 7-6. And this is Wayman to serve the ball for BCLUW. Wayman serves the ball over. South Hamilton sends one over. Short set, Pekarik. And it goes into the crowd. Kylie counted on for big things. She had 148 kills last year as the third hitter, actually, for BCLUW. Now we're tied at 7 apiece. And Wayman serves it over. Benson gets to it. There's a back set, but the Comets hit it into the net. So they gave the hitter a back set, and Hauser hit it into the net. So actually, Coach Yance is playing a few different girls here in this particular rotation. 8-7, South Hamilton leads. And that is going to be an ace serve. Willow couldn't make up to it. So kind of a lot of new faces in the lineup here for BCLUW. And oh, by the way, Tessa Skartveit, their good hitter, who has one solid kill, is serving the ball. 9-7 on KDAO. Skartveit gets ready to serve the ball. Skartveit serves that ball over. And that's going to be a rotation violation and a point for BCLUW. So BCLUW gets a point out of that one. 9-8 on KDAO. They trail South Hamilton. They knocked off South Hardin. Now they're playing South Hamilton. So, served by the Comets. Here's an outside hit, but it goes out of bounds. They loaded up, but Vandepol knocked it out of bounds. 9-9 on KDAO. Kylie Pekarik with the serve. Pekarik with the serve. She sends it over. And South Hamilton, once again, sends it into the net. So the Hawks making a couple of mistakes. It's 10-9. I think this is the Comets' first lead of the night. And this is Pekarik. Kylie to serve. Kylie serves it over. Almost an ace serve, but they do get it over, and then the Comets didn't come to get it. I mean, it looked good. I thought it was going to be an ace serve, and the Hawks really struggled with their passing, but they got it over the net, and suddenly the Comets just kind of stood around on defense. So we got a 10-10 score here. Nice crowd. Gym's air conditioned, so that's always nice, you know. Got a 10-10 score. Hawks are going to load it up, and that's going to be Benson in the back row. And that's going to be a hit over by number 13, Sereno. And that's going to be a solid hit in the middle, and it goes for a Hawk point. Sloan, one of those 6-foot girls, just knocked it down, made it easy. Skartveit on the bench. They're playing pretty well without her. They lead 11-10. Benson gets to it, and it's going to be tipped over by the setter, but they were ready for that. Here's a side hit, blocked at the net, and then it's going to be hit out of bounds. They blocked it at the net, but that was just a good hit by 20 Vandepol. So 2 points in a row has untied this thing. It's now 12-10 on KDAO. And Benson gets it in the back row. The set by Wayman. The hit over by Sereno. And BCLUW is going to get called for 4 hits. And a timeout called by BCLUW. So Coach Anders takes a quick timeout. South Hamilton has scored 3 points in a row. And they lead this thing 13-10. I'll be back after this.
My family grew up with Central State Bank. From my first savings account to our first mortgage, growing a business, and planning for retirement. They've been with us through it all. And just like family, they call you by name. Discover what Central State Bank can do for you.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball as we start things off with something I've never done before, triangular. A lot of teams going to triangulars. That's basically kind of a way to get more meets in, you know. And BCLUW knocked off South Hardin in the first game. Got a tussle here with South Hamilton. South Hamilton well rested, 13-10. Like I said, the Comets have played a few new players here, kind of a little new rotation for them. Just trying to get some girls some experience. And after the timeout, we've got Erickson to serve the ball for South Hamilton. They're on a little 3-0 roll right now. She serves that ball over. That's going to be Sereno. Comets knock it over from the back. Uh-oh, there's a middle hit. Benson, good job. Got one hand on it. Knocked over by the Comets. Here's a back set. Here's South Hamilton, but they hit it into the net. Had a good set, but one of their 6-footers, Martinson, just hit it into the net. Here comes Kennedy Davis. Now, Kennedy's going to come in. She was wonderful against South Hardin, so you know dang well she's probably going to get some sets if they can get the ball to her. And Sereno serves the ball for BCLUW. And it goes into the crowd. That'll be an ace serve. (13-12). So Sereno, 13-12. She sends another one over. And there's a back set. They push it over. Benson, great job. Found it. Knocked over by BCLUW. South Hamilton gets it. They knock it over into the back row. That'll be Sereno. And that'll be knocked over by Addie Moeller. And here comes South Hamilton. They tip it over. Brenna Benson gets to it. And there's a side hit, and it's good. That was pretty. And it was so pretty that they pushed Rain Sereno right out of the picture if you're watching this online. That was such a good hit, they celebrated by pushing Rain completely out of the picture. So, she's going to serve the ball now. We got a 13-all game. And Rain serves it. Good serve. Here comes South Hamilton. And once again, they hit it into the net. So, mistakes here by number 8. Scartbeat's been on the bench. So, without their best player, Comets are taking advantage of it. They now lead by a score of 14-13. Here's Rain Sereno. And Sereno loads it up. That's an ace serve. Good serving. Good serving. Not the best passing by South Hamilton. Sereno's really kind of come on strong, hasn't she? Rain had a good first game. Now it's 15-13. And Rain sends it over. Comets are going to set up Benson. There's Sereno from the middle. South Hamilton short set in the middle. Nice dig by Wayman. And then that's going to be a kill by 17, Hauser. So Madison gets involved in the fun. And another timeout is going to be taken. 16-13. So Comets playing some pretty clean volleyball, getting a lot of girls involved, good defense, and they lead South Hamilton 16-13. I'll be back after this on KDAO.
Hanson Family Hospital is your home for healthcare in Hardin County. From convenient family care and specialists close to home to 24/7 emergency care, Hanson Family Hospital is committed to providing compassionate, quality healthcare for you and your family. Hanson Family Hospital, care close to home.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio. Also, you're watching this on the Radio on the Go YouTube page, but I think you can still access us on KDAO.com. Just kind of a force of habit for a lot of people like me with all the changes that we've had. Okay, 16-13. And Rain Sereno is going to serve the ball. That's going to be an ace serve once again. So Rain just getting the job done, serving. South Hamilton really struggling with that. 17-13. And again, I think they're a little different team when Scartveed is not in the game. And she's not. So Sereno hits top of the net, falls, ace serve. Better be lucky than good. She does it again. Rain Sereno. Now it's 18-13. As the Hawks really struggling with their service reception. Now they're going to have to set up their hit from the middle. And they do. That's Benson. She's all over the place. And then that will be a hit. The Comets committed themselves to the front of the net. And Sloan was able to knock it down. Now Scartveed is still on the bench in this rotation. So the Hawks are down 18-14. Comets trying to get the first win here. 2 out of 3, Hawks are going to serve the ball. And here's Kennedy Davis from the left side. They dig it in the back row. And that hit the top of the net. And it falls. So that, I was waiting. I thought maybe it should have been 4 hits called on South Hamilton. But it hit the top of the net, and then it flew up in the air, and then nobody caught it. So that's another point. Oh, by the way, it's 19-14 right now. So the Comets just playing clean volleyball and good serving. And there's a good serve by number 2, Ramirez. And there's a nice save in the back row by Sereno. And there's a hit cross court by the Comets. And what do we got here? We've got out of bounds. And a bounce called against South Hamilton. So here's Ramirez, 20-14. Ramirez the setter. And she sends it over, and that's another ace serve, man. They got one hand on it, but Hawks are really struggling with their service reception. And South Hamilton has to take another timeout. And we'll just keep it right here, 21-14. Just some self-inflicted wounds here by South Hamilton. Really have not figured out the setting, or the serving, excuse me. And, of course, then they struggle with their passing. And when you struggle passing, you can't get it up to the hitters, So BCLUW, they have a nice lead here of 21-14. I should remind you that we will have football tomorrow night. Should be a good game at 7 o'clock with the South Hardin boys taking on West Marshall in State Center. And then no more triangulars for me. I'll be doing some West Marshall volleyball in Madrid. I'll actually be doing that. Of course, they always start early with the volleyball over there. That'll be Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Now, that's what I've got going on. And I still got a couple of more BCLUW volley matches to do this year and a couple of South Hardin matches to do as well. So after the timeout, that should be a net violation, but instead they're going to call Kennedy Davis. They're going to call Kennedy Davis for being over the net. I mean, you could have called it on anybody. You could have called it on South Hamilton, too. And BCLUW mildly argues about it. So, I mean, both girls were at fault, but they just called it on Kennedy Davis. So that's the way that goes. And here's Vanderpool to serve the ball. 21-15, Comets lead. She serves it. And Ramirez is going to set up a hit. It's good. That time, Kennedy Davis came from the middle. She was actually, I'm so used to her on the left outside of the net. This time she went into the middle and went on the right side outside of the net and got a kill. So she definitely leads the team tonight in kills. So it's 22-15 on KDAO. BCLUW is the home team, by the way. And that's going to be 4 hits called on South Hamilton, unless they call BCLUW for being in the net. What did they do there? Okay, no, they did not. Well, they were pointing at BCLUW, so I didn't know. BCLUW leads by a score of 23-15. Brenna Benson, tough serve. And they got to set it up from the back row, and that's just not going to work. So Skartvik comes into the game. I mean, this has been pretty easy for BCLUW, as it's 24-15, and Brenna Benson's going to serve game point right now for the home team. And she serves it over. And they get to it. Skartvik gets it. They dig it. Benson sends it into the back row. Okay, South Hamilton, there's Skartvik again. Yes, when she's in there, she's the difference maker. She just hasn't played that much. That's 2 kills for her. It's still 24-16. Still 24-16. And South Hamilton will serve. It's still 24-16. And South Hamilton serves the ball over. Comets get to it. That's going to be Kennedy Davis. And Kennedy Davis puts it down for a 25-16 win. BCLUW, they are the home team, and they get that win. Kennedy Davis, that's the thing. Kennedy Davis, all during the first match, she came from the left side. And I apologize for my scoreboard. As BCLUW gets the win, and they are the home team. So still having a few scoreboard issues. Okay, so there are some growing pains. I apologize. Okay, bottom line is BCLUW played good volleyball. They didn't make many mistakes. Their serving was exceptionally good. That was a real problem for South Hamilton. South Hamilton they gave up a lot of points with the serves, with ace serves, and they couldn't pass the ball. And BCLUW just getting more girls involved, and Davis had her usual good game. But, I mean, you know, we're talking about Sally Ramirez, and we're talking about Brenna Benson's been all over the place. And we're talking about Wayman, and we're talking about Sereno. I mean, just girls that I just didn't see play a lot last year. Or if they did, they kind of came in rotation because for the last 3 years, you know, they've always had this great senior class for BCLUW. But, yeah, and like I said, there's something to be said for these girls playing against, in practice, some really, really good players for the last 2-3 years, okay? So BCLUW, they're rated 11th in Class 1A. And they had a nice victory, 25-16. They're now going to try to knock off South Hamilton and not go 3 games and then go home early. And then we still have South Hardin and South Hamilton to do. Okay, set number 2 is coming up next for you on KDAO.
API has you covered, literally. Top quality shingles, metal, rubber, and flat roofs, roofing and siding for home, farm, and business. See the API local showroom on Highway 175 East in Eldora. Free professional inspections and estimates. API roofing, siding, and gutters.
J&T Plumbing and Heating is ready to help with your home or business. From plumbing repairs and drain cleaning to heating, furnace, and air conditioning service, J&T Plumbing and Heating, keeping you comfortable year-round.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio and also on your Radio on the Go YouTube page. I'm Chuck Carpenter, and BCLUW, you know, they don't want to have any letdown because they would really, really, really like to win this game here quick and then go home early. And get ready for a tournament. They go to Bondurant Farrar on Saturday. Okay, now Skartveit, their good hitter, she's going to be on the bench, so they're a different team without her. She had 2 kills, and BCLUW, I mean, they just had a little bit more balance. And now BCLUW is going to serve the ball over, and South Hamilton's going to get to it. South Hamilton's going to push it over the net, and that's going to be a kill. Well, not really a kill. The Comets went after it with Cambria. And Wayman couldn't catch up to it, and they give up a point. BCLUW is down 1-0. South Hamilton is going to set up a side, and they dig that in the back row. Good job. She's been good tonight. We're talking about Sereno. Here's a side hit. Skartveit's back in the game. When she's in the game, man, they just need to feed her. She didn't play that much in the first game, but now she's parked herself on the left outside of the net with her 295 kills from last year. South Hamilton leads by a score of 2-0. And South Hamilton sends it over. Benson gets to it. That's going to be Kennedy Davis. She smoked that thing. Kennedy, very good tonight. I mean, you know, Kennedy was very good last year as a freshman. I mean, help me, she had 107 kills last year. She leads the team tonight, 2-1. Serving the ball is going to be Ramirez. But we have a rotation violation. I never know what that means, but the up referee, he draws a circle. Okay, he draws a circle, and that's when the referee's up in the up position drawing circles. That's just never a good situation, and the Comets found that out. One of these days I'll have to ask what that is when the referee's like drawing a circle. I guess it's a rotation violation. I don't know. So South Hamilton serves that ball over to the back row. Comets get to it, and here is going to be Wayman. Yes, down the line. So Cambria, the junior, knocked it down the line. And Benson serves the ball over. They're going to set up a back hit. And it's going to be dug nicely by Ramirez. Pushed over by Wayman. Comets get that in the back row. Benson. Here comes Wayman. They dig that. Here comes Skartveit. I'm sorry, they come with someone from the middle. That was Swenson. Good volley here. Oh, here's Skartveit. And I thought maybe that was 4 hits called, but it wasn't. Good volley. Benson. Okay, from the middle, out of bounds. So a long volley. South Hamilton. 4-2. They lead. Comets really dominated them in the first one, 25-16. They're doing a better job receiving serve. That's going to be Wayman in the middle. And another good hit by Wayman. So Cambria doing a good job there. 4-3. Hits the top of the net, falls, but here comes Skartveit with it. Okay, good job digging a hard hit by Ramirez. They set Skartveit up. Here they come again. And another good save in the back row by Davis this time. Comets put one over. And South Hamilton's going to get called for 4 hits. Or a net violation. So good scrappy defense here by BCLUW. And the Comets got a 4-4 game. Davis served the ball. Here comes Skartveit from the middle. She pushed it into the net. You know, always kind of surprised when those big hitters decide to kind of let up and kind of relax. I always thought you should swing hard every time. Skartveit tried to push it into the net, and it cost her a point. 5-4 Comets. And Davis serves one over. That's going to be out of bounds. So South Hamilton's starting to make some mistakes here. Kennedy Davis, 6-4 is the score. Comets would prefer not to go 3 games again. Davis sends it over to the net. And South Hamilton tips it over into the net. Actually, they get called for a carry and a net violation. So South Hamilton kind of in that mode there where they're just not playing very good volleyball right now. 7-4. Comets with the lead. Davis sends it over. There's Skartveit. And they block it. Good job there. So the Comets go to reset. There's a short set. There's Pekarik. And they're going to give the point to South Hamilton. They set up Kylie Pekarik in the middle. And here's Skartveit. And Skartveit is telling people to move so she can serve the ball. And of course, she's big. I wouldn't want to mess with her. So they're going to make her redo that one over. So she was trying to clear a little space here. And so they're trying to get out of Skartveit's way. I would pay attention to her. And Skartveit sends one over. Comets get to it. That was a good serve. That's Wayman. That's going to be out of bounds. As Wayman, Cambria, knocked it out of bounds. So she really hugs that. See, she had people all around her, and she really likes to hug that back court there, which is perfectly acceptable. She hits a bullet, but it goes out of bounds. So 8-6 now. Comets are up 1-0. And we're going to have a little rotation here. Somebody's going to come in for BCLUW. Now that's going to be Hauser. She has a kill tonight. And then Wayman is going to serve the ball over. That's going to be an ace serve. That serving's been tough tonight. Against South Hamilton especially. So Wayman. Comets come into this thing. 3 straight trips to state. Rated 11th in 1A. They lead. There's another ace serve. Man. If you can't pass, you're going to struggle. Now they've opened up a 10-6 lead. A lot of it's been on the serving tonight. Here she goes again. They do get a hand on it. They are going to knock it over right now. Benson comes in and gets it. There's a back set to Hauser, and she hits it out of bounds. Tried to go down the line, but she hit it out of bounds. (10-7). Erickson gets ready to serve it, and she does. That's going to be Collins in the back row. And that's going to be a hit out of bounds. Last touch by the Hawks. The hit down by Rain Sereno, one of those seniors that we talk about a lot. Here comes Addie Moeller. Addie will patrol front row. Brenna Benson takes a rare break. She's probably pooped tonight. She's been all over the place, man. 11-7, Comets lead. That serving's just really, really having a problem here for South Hamilton. And they hit one into the net. And even when they receive serve, they kind of make a couple of mistakes after that. Like I said, they got Scartfeet, but they need to find other hitters because they lost their top 4. And just good defense here by the Comets. And we've got Pekarik. Kylie is going to serve the ball over, and she does. And they're going to hit it they're going to hit it inbounds. And again, you don't have Scartfeet in there, so you got to try to make the hay without her in there. 12-8, Comets lead. They really don't want to go 3 games. They win 3 games in South Hardin and won, but they'd just rather go home early. Okay, South Hamilton gets to it. Got a little set here. Got Sereno. And that was touched, and that's going to be a point. Coach Yantis saw that, so she saws that. Yeah, so that's what happened there. Into the game comes Kennedy Davis. Out of the game goes Willow Collins. Kennedy's had a great game, and of course, Kennedy parks herself on the left outside of the net. That's her sweet spot, Comets serve the ball over. 2 girls run into each other, but they're able to get it. Now they're going to set up a side. Going to be dug in the back row. Good job by Sereno. And, there's Davis, and she just put it down. Boy, she was good last year as a freshman. Outstanding game tonight. 14-8 here. Kennedy getting the job done. And Rain is going to serve the ball for BCLUW, and she does. They get to it. Scartfeet's still not in the ball game, and they hit it out of bounds. So just a lot of mistakes here by South Hamilton. It all kind of started with the serving, and BCLUW with a nice effort here. Just a lot of mistakes here by South Hamilton. A lot of them because they're struggling receiving serve. And now they're just kind of getting frustrated and starting to hit the ball out of bounds. So for everything, there's a beginning, and this is the beginning for BCLUW with a bunch of new faces. And it showed in that first game with South Hardin, which they lost 25-17. But then, man, they turned it on. Woo! They won 25-14. They won 15-11. They won 25-16 in the first game. And here, they've jumped out to a 15-8 lead. Now, right after this is over, I have no idea how long we're going to take in between games. I'm hoping to talk to Coach Yantis. That's what I'm hoping to do, so she can help me fill a little time here before she gets on the bus. And then we're going to do South Hardin and South Hamilton, okay? And then I can say, I've done a triangular meet. Okay, I believe Rain Sereno is going to serve the ball for BCLUW. And she serves the ball. And they're going to set up a middle. But again, they hit it out of bounds. So they got the size, but they're just hitting it out of bounds. 16-8. And in volleyball, what do they say? Mistakes means points. Sereno serving the ball again. Tough serve, but they get to it. Here's a side hit, but they hit it into the net. Just a lot of mistakes there by South Hamilton. It's 17-8. Comets on a roll, trying to wrap this thing up in 2 and go home. Rain Sereno serves the bullet. Base set up a side, blocked nicely by the Comets. And then I think they're going to have a do-over. But I'm not sure why, because I don't think a JV volleyball went onto the court, but the referee just said, we're going to have a do-over. Okay. So I guess that's a random do-over, man. 17-8. Rain Sereno serves the ball again. And they got to chase that thing into the crowd. They got to set up a back row attack. That's tough. Benson gets to it. Okay. Set. Davis. Out of bounds. Kind of looks like Wayman's the setter this year. They might be actually running a 6-2 as Ramirez comes in. And she will replace Hauser. Now here comes Scartfeet. So, I mean, they're down. We're talking about South Hamilton. They're down 17-9, so they can't be messing around anymore. They gotta get to Scartfeet early and often. And they got to hit their serves. 17-9. A wobbing serve controlled by Benson. There's Davis from the side. Into the crowd. Another kill for Kennedy. She's having a nice game. Now we've got Ramirez to serve the ball. BCLUW with an 18-9 lead. Ramirez serves the ball over. Scartbeat in the game. It was knocked over by Wayman. And now South Hamilton just hit it out of bounds again. So just too many mistakes, too many out-of-bounds stuff here. And just good serving here by the Comets. This is Ramirez. 19-9. Comets up by 10, trying to close this thing out. That's going to be not an ace serve, but on the second one, they just are struggling passing the ball, and Ramirez just having a really good night out there. Okay, quickie little timeout. It's all Comets, man. 20-9. I'll be back after this.
At Hardin County Savings Bank, every time you use your HCSB debit card, local schools benefit. Help support school activities, events, and programs in our communities. Sign up for HCSB Cash for Schools today.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio, and also, of course, on the YouTube page, the Radio on the Go YouTube page. I think you can still pick us up on KDAO.com after all those years of doing it on KDAO.com. I know that's a change for everybody, but we hope you enjoy the change. A few new graphics here and there, and I'm trying to do my best in a triangular. We still got South Hamilton and South Hardin to do, but right now BCLUW has a 20-9 lead on KDAO. And after this is over, hopefully we're going to talk to Coach Yantis. Hopefully she can find her way up here. And, okay, South Hamilton served that ball over. That's going to be pushed over by Wayman, and that goes out of bounds. A little messed up from the start. 20-10 here. Again, South Hamilton, they got to hit their serves. Now they got Scartbeat back in the lineup, so that's good for them. The only problem is that they're down by 10 points. They can't afford any more mistakes. Okay, they serve the ball over. That's going to be Sereno. It's going to be pushed over by Addie Moeller. But that's going to be 4 hits. As the Comets don't want to let this lead get away from them. It's 20-11. Short set in the middle. And Kennedy just tried to tip it over when she probably should have swung hard. So now they've given up a couple of points here. And South Hamilton serves the ball over. Short set Kennedy. Well, this time she didn't mess around with the tip. She just loaded up and slammed it home. She looks a little bit like Ava Wyatt, formerly of Gladbrook-Rhinebeck from a few years ago. She really does. That was some kind of player. 21-12 on KDAO. Brennan Benson serves the ball over. Once again, they struggle with the serve, and they give him a free ball. But the South Hamilton chases it down. Up, there's another free ball. But this time, they just go into the net. South Hamilton goes into the net. Comets had a free ball, but it wouldn't matter because South Hamilton just stumbled into the net. So, 22-12 as BCLUW is just kind of running away with this thing, trying to go to 2-0 on the year before they go to a tournament on Saturday. There's a short serve. It goes over. South Hamilton hits one inbounds. So it falls inbounds. And that makes the score 22-13. Cross-court serve. Davis gets to it. There's a hit by Wayman, and it's good. Now it's 23-13. So 23-13. And Kennedy Davis will go back to serve. Kennedy does. South Hamilton is going to set up a middle with Scartbeat. And when she's in there, that's what they got to do. So the JV match has been concluded over there. BCLUW trying to just wrap this thing up. They lead by a score of 23-14. Then we'll do South Hamilton and South Hardin, So Skartveit's going to serve the ball for South Hamilton. Skartveit serves that ball over, hits the top of the net, falls for an ace serve. The Comets haven't missed many serves tonight, but that was one of them. So 23-15. Skartveit is going to serve the ball again. And Skartveit serves it over. Receive a serve by Wayman. Here comes Wayman, but she hit it into the net. She received serve, and then she hit the ball into the net. So 23-16 on KDAO. After this is over, hopefully, Coach, well, that's going to be a serve out of bounds. So now we got match point to be served right now as BCLUW tries to get out of here at a nice time. So match point to be served right now. And this is going to be Wayman to serve the ball. So Wayman's going to serve the ball. Comets lead by a score of 25-16. One more point, and they get the 2 wins tonight. Wayman serves the ball over. South Hamilton gets it. They push it over. Short set. That's Serrano, excuse me. They're able to get that. They push it over the net. There's a set. There's a hit over by BCLUW. Here comes South Hamilton. Okay, they're going to set up a middle, but it goes out of bounds. 24-17. Comets don't want to mess with this team. They can't afford to be missing any serves with the score being what it is. It's 24-17. And that's it. That's an ace serve. That's the first ace serve of the night here by South Hamilton. So they live for another day. It's 24-18. Okay, Benson gets that one in the back row. They're going to set up a middle, and it goes out of bounds. So Pekarik hit it out of bounds, and that big lead suddenly isn't so big anymore, man. 24-19. South Hamilton's got to hit their serves. This is Erickson. She serves the ball over, hits the top of the net, and that's a free ball. And I wonder if Coach Yantis is thinking about a timeout, because suddenly it's 24-20, man. I'm thinking one more point, and she may be taking a timeout. So this is Erickson to serve the ball. And the Comets are going to set up a hit. They dig that. Now they send it into the net, and that finally takes care of that. That was a little nerve-wracking, wasn't it, for BCLUW? They had that nice big lead. And then, just kind of made a few mistakes. And it didn't get away from them, but South Hamilton made it entertaining. But the bottom line is, the Comets, who are rated 11th in the state, in 1A, they come to Eldora, and they only lost one set, and that was the first one to South Hardin, 25-17. Then they righted the ship. And won against South Hardin, 25-14, 15-11. And the serving was exceptionally good. Here in set 2. In the second match, it was exceptionally good. That was really a big highlight. Was the serving. And 25-16, and the size factor didn't bother the Comets. They were kind of outsized tonight in these two matches, but that really didn't seem to bother them too much at all. And when Skartveit played, she put a couple of balls down, but there was just a lot of balance. There was just a lot of good balance for BCLUW. Now Kennedy Davis, she's going to end up leading the team as far as kills are concerned. So she'll end up leading the team in kills, and Kylie Pekarik, who we count on for a lot of kills, she had a nice game, but not a lot of kills. We're talking girls like Rain Serrano and Wayman, and even Layla Follett when she got some time. And of course, I got to give a big shout out to Brenna Benson. Brenna, a libero is just all energy. And she was just all energy tonight. So a good job by Brenna Benson. Of course, she's one of those seniors that they count on this year. So BCLUW gets the win, and they now get home at a reasonable time, and we still have another match to do. Although, going 2 games like that, it kind of put us ahead of schedule a little bit, and we're hoping that we're going to talk to Coach Yantis. So hopefully she's on her way for a little visit to help us out a little bit. Now they're going to give a little bit. They're not going to give a full warm up to South Hardin, because of course they just played a little bit ago. But they will give them a little time to warm up, and then we'll do the starting lineups. And like I said, I hope we're going to talk to Coach Yantis. But the Comets, the BCLUW, rated 11th in the state. They win 2 tonight, as they beat South Hardin in 3, and then they beat South Hamilton in 2. And of course, this is my first triangular, so it's just a little different for me with the time they have in between games. And like I said, I know they're going to give them some warm-ups. I don't know if they're going to give them like a full warm-ups, but they are going to give them a little bit of time to warm up. I don't think not as much as South Hamilton got, because South Hamilton had just not played. So BCLUW comes to town, and they knock off 2 teams tonight, so they get their season off to a nice start. And of course, like I said, BCLUW, been to state 3 years in a row. They don't have Olivia this year with a knee injury. I think she just underwent surgery today, so we'll see her on the bench. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to take a little commercial break, and you're listening to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio. And of course, you're also watching this on our website, which is radioonthego.com, but I think you still access it by going to KDAO.com. So our next match will be South Hamilton and South Hardin. So that'll be our next match here in just a few minutes from now. And again, we'll rate the arrival of Coach Yantis of BCLUW, and hopefully she can spend a little time talking about tonight and about the 2 wins. They only lost 1 set tonight. And that was the first game. With South Hardin. And Coach Yantis is on the way. We'll take a quick break. I'll be back after this.
High-speed internet shouldn't stop at the city limits. That's why RTU has expanded reliable internet service across rural Grundy and Tama counties, with Traer coming soon. Main Street, not Wall Street. Learn more at rhinebeck.net.
GNB Bank is a proud supporter of Grundy Center and surrounding communities. Count on your hometown team at GNB Bank for protection and all your customized banking needs. GNB Bank is there when you need them. GNB Bank, member FDIC, banking you can count on.
Welcome back, Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO, as we're getting ready for match 3. See, I got the scoreboard figured out. Anyway, it's going to be South Hamilton and South Hardin in just a little bit. But in the meantime, I've got Coach Megan Yantis of the BCLUW girls volleyball team here. And the Comets, they lost the first set, and then they won after that. So Coach, I wish there was a better term than get the rust out. But is that what happened? Because you mentioned, you know what, Chuck? We played a lot of summer ball, played a lot of practice, a lot of team camps, but then they step out onto the court, Coach. And you kind of see some of those nerves or whatever in that first game before you got going.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I did not expect us to have that many nerves coming out. Like you said, we've played all summer. We've had the scrimmages, and, you know, I did feel like we were ready. And so, yeah, I was a little surprised by our nerves, but I am not surprised either. I mean, I think we bounced back. But yeah, definitely a few nerves to start off.
And I'm very simple and stupid about the game. Was it just, well, one of the things was you guys just cleaned up volleyball. I mean, they started making mistakes, and you played relatively clean volleyball, not totally perfect, but relatively clean from that start of the second game all the way through South Hamilton, I thought.
Yeah, we just made too many mistakes in that first game, and yeah, for us to come back and honestly to come back and have the energy and just positive, and I feel like we never let down. Like, we knew that we could beat South Hardin. They're a good team, but we knew that we could come back. But yeah, just minimizing our errors was the big thing.
Okay, and then the other thing is too, Coach. Okay, I've been so spoiled over the last couple of years because you've had these teams, and I've known all the girls, and now tonight it's like, okay, well, I know what we got with Kennedy Davis, and I know what we got with Kylie Pekarik, but just, I don't know, talk about some of the other girls. I mean, the Wayman girl and Ramirez and just some of and of course, Brenna, she's just full of energy. But as far as the hitters in the offense, did we find some people?
Yeah, I think Wayman, Cambria has come out. She's been a fantastic hitter for us this summer, and she's just really, her growth on that right side has been great for us. And then, moving Kennedy even out to the outside. Yeah, you know her name, but she's not been out on the outside. So I think she did a great job, and I think she'll continue to grow throughout the season as well. But yeah, our right side had Layla and Maddie, and both of them are looking good on. We need to make sure that they're coming up for a block, but I feel like both of them got several kills for us, and yeah, it'll be good to see all these other names in our program.
Now, me knowing nothing about volleyball, there's one thing I can tell when a team is doing it well, and that's serving the ball. Okay, and maybe it wasn't necessarily the ace all the time, but it certainly was. But you just went through a spell there where you just served the ball exceptionally well there, Coach, and that's something that's a real positive, because if the other team can't pass, that's a problem.
Yeah, I feel like that was another thing that we kept them out of system, and that's a huge thing. Getting teams out of the system, especially on a serve receive, just sets us up for better ball control on our side, and then hopefully a kill. So yeah, definitely serving aggressive.
Okay, and Coach, talk about another thing. And I know, you always play a lot of different girls. I never want to get too caught up in the starting 6 or 7, because I know there's always a rotation. But are we still kind of, I don't want to say taking toddler steps, still kind of in the beginning stages of the team chemistry? Because there's a lot of new faces out there, despite the summer ball and despite the summer leagues and things like that. Girls still kind of used to where each other is at on the court and that sort of thing, communication, right?
Yes, we're still learning to trust each other. Again, game-like situations are completely different than a scrimmage, and so I do feel like they're towards the end, we're starting to trust each other more. And again, that's going to build throughout the season as well. But yeah, I feel like that's just has been good even this summer. But I think we'll continue to improve on that as well.
Excellent. I'll see you guys with North Tama and Colonesco. We've got GMG to do. I thank you very much, Coach, for coming up today. And that's Coach Megan Yantis. They get to go home at a nice time, and we're getting ready to do another volleyball match. We've got South Hamilton and South Hardin. Thank you, Coach. I'm Chuck Carpenter. I will be back with, I believe, the starting lineups for South Hamilton and South Hardin, and that'll be then the end of our volleyball for tonight, our triangular meet. And I'll be back, and we'll have South Hamilton and South Hardin after these messages on KDAO.
Farm Bureau Financial Services offers customized coverage for your farm, machinery, livestock, and more. All in one policy, one premium, and one deductible. Contact Farm Bureau agent Kyle Blom or sales associate Justin Teesing in Rhinebeck.
When your air conditioner, furnace, or plumbing fails, call Lon's Plumbing and Heating. For over 30 years, Lon's Plumbing and Heating in Rhinebeck has handled all your plumbing, air conditioning, and heating needs. Lon's Plumbing and Heating, your trusted local experts for more than 30 years.
The Eldora Hy-Vee store offers large town variety with small town friendliness. Find everything you need from fresh produce and quality meats to bakery favorites and everyday essentials. The Eldora Hy-Vee store, big selection, hometown service.
Show your school pride every time you shop with the People's Savings Bank School Pride Debit Card. Choose from AGWSR, Dike New Hartford, or Gladbrook Rhinebeck. Every swipe helps support your local schools. Stop by any PSB location and get yours today. Member FDIC.
RTU doesn't just serve Rhinebeck. We've brought high-speed internet to rural Grundy and Tama counties, and we're soon going to be in Traer. Your hometown provider, growing with the community. RTU. Learn more at rhinebeck.net.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO. Well, you know what? I might have worked at KDAO for 44 years. But there's always something I've never done before. I've never done an 8-man football game before. I may do that this year. And I've never done a triangular volleyball match. But I'm doing that tonight. And the BCLUW girls got off to a great start tonight. The first set wasn't great against South Hardin. They lost 25-17, but then they turned it on and won 25-14, 15-11. And then South Hamilton, who I thought was a good team coming in, just made too many mistakes. And you heard Coach Antis, they did a good job, and they won 25-16, 25-20. So now we're going to end the night with a volleyball match between South Hamilton and South Hardin. South Hamilton looking to, both teams actually looking to end on a positive note after both teams lost to BCLUW. As I mentioned, South Hardin lost in 3, and South Hamilton lost in 2. So this should be very competitive as we get ready for the lineups. And, of course, both teams will be busy. Both teams, now South Hardin, they have a tournament. I believe it's Bond. Is it Bondurant Farrar? No, I'm dumb. They go to Humboldt on Saturday. Bondurant Farrar and Humboldt sound so much alike, I get them confused sometimes. So South Hamilton to the tournament at Clarion, and then, I'm pretty sure South Hardin, they go to a tournament at Bondurant Farrar. Okay, you know what? They didn't do the starting lineups for this game. So that's kind of unusual. So they didn't do the starting lineups for this game. So, right off the bat, I was waiting for Mr. Thompson to do the starting lineups, but they never gave the starting lineup. So here we go. As South Hamilton is down by a score of 1-0, and here comes South Hardin, and South Hardin sends one out of bounds. So we're just underway. So South Hamilton leads this thing 2-0, and they are the visitors. And South Hamilton just put one back in the face of South Hardin. So South Hamilton playing with some pretty good juice here after they got beat by BCLUW, and the visitors lead 3-0. So they are the visitors, and that's going to be 3-1 score. South Hardin finally gets a point out of the deal, and this is Emma Minter. So I was waiting for the starting lineup, so that kind of screwed me up a little bit. So Mintier is going to serve the ball over to South Hamilton, and South Hamilton is going to set up it outside. And let's see, South Hardin is going to dig that in the back row. And then Rylan Cook sends it over. So Mintier and South Hardin is trailing by a score of 3-2. South Hardin puts one up, but it gets blocked in the middle. And the visitors of South Hamilton lead this thing by a score of 4-2. And this will be the last match of the night, but then they throw one into the net. So the first match was long, and then the second match not so much, as BCLUW took care of South Hamilton pretty easily and pretty quickly. So we're just a little ahead of schedule. Actually, this match wasn't supposed to start till 8:30, man. Okay, so Skartvik backs up and receives serve. And South Hamilton sends it. Actually, there's going to be 4 hits. So 4-4 is the score. So 4-4. And we're going to have one of those rotation violations, I guess, because the up referee stopped it, pointed, and drew a circle. So, okay, the Hawks are going to serve the ball. and the Hawks lead by a score of 5-4. And the Hawks serve the ball over. And that's going to be a hit over by South Hardin, but they're able to dig that, pick it up, and then Skartvedt hit it from the left outside of the net. She only had 3 kills against BCLUW, so I'm kind of thinking they're kind of hoping she does some damage here in this game. I mean, she's 6'1", and it's 6-4 right now. And South Hamilton with the lead. South Hamilton with a back row attack. South Hardin with a back row attack, and then they send it over, and a good job by the libero for South Hamilton. She sent a back row attack over with a dig, and it went way over to the other side and ended up scoring for South Hamilton. They now lead by a score of 7-4. Here's a hit into the net, so the Tigers struggling a little bit. Mintier loaded up and then hit it into the net. South Hamilton has an 8-4 lead. Okay, here comes the side hit. South Hardin, they block it, but it goes out of bounds, and that should be a point. That should be a point for the Tigers. So Hadley Thompson will serve the ball. Hadley gets ready to serve the ball. Hadley serves the ball, and she serves it out of bounds. South Hamilton with some pretty good energy. You know, they just got beat pretty good by BCLUW, but they're showing some pretty good energy in this game, and they lead this game by a score of 9-5 here. South Hardin with a lot of experience back. They just started struggling receiving serve in that first match against BCLUW, and now the Tigers hit it out of bounds. So now it's 10-5. South Hamilton, of course, plays from that tough Heart of Iowa Conference. They were in a tournament at Story City on Monday, and then just played and lost to a very good BCLUW team. Skartvedt's going to serve the ball over, and South Hardin hits it over, and that's going to be Tidman. Now, Lexi Tidman, with her size, I mean, she is a difference maker. And now we have Raylan Cook to serve the ball for the Tigers. And South Hamilton sends it over. Tigers get to it in the back row, and then they hit it out of bounds. So just a lot of self-inflicted wounds here for South Hardin. Ella Owens comes into the game in rotation. And 11-6 on KDAO. Both teams playing tournaments on Saturday. South Hamilton, Clarion Goldfield. I'm pretty sure South Hardin, Bondurant Farrar. South Hamilton sends a serve over and out. I want to thank Mr. Thompson for coming up and help me in between games 1 and 2. And thanks to Coach Yantis for helping me out in games between 2 and 3. Now, South Hardin just hit one out of bounds. So just a lot of service errors here for both teams, especially for South Hardin. So they got to clean that up. 12-7 on KDAO. Now I note that Skartvedt girl, she's not in the game for South Hamilton, so Tigers need to take advantage of that. They're able to receive serve. They're going to set up a side hit. And that's some good power by Minter, Emma. They blocked it, went straight up, and they couldn't get another hand on it. And Cook will serve. And she does. And South Hamilton with the middle. Tigers get to it. They tip it over. And Minter back in the game, pushes it out of bounds. So Mintier is in the back row, and she pushed it out of bounds. 12-9 on KDAO. And Tigers serve it over. South Hamilton with a hit out of bounds. So both teams just kind of making some mistakes. South Hardin closes the gap. They now trail by a score of 12-10. South Hamilton is going to set up Scartfeet in the middle, and it hit the net. Kind of a block two. Hit the net, but Lucy Anderson did a good job of the net. Now it's 12-11. And the Tigers send one over. South Hamilton gave up on it, so an ace serve in the back row. And all of a sudden now it's 12-12. So 12-12. And that's going to be a kill by number 12, Swenson, for South Hardin. Scartfeet is back there, and she's patrolling the front row. South Hamilton has a 13-12 lead. South Hamilton serves it over. That's an ace serve. So both teams struggling a little bit with their service reception. And a good serve by Van de Poel. And now Rhea goes back to serve the ball again, and she does. South Hardin sets one up, and it goes good. They hit it down the line. South Hardin has the athletes, and they've got the power. Just been a little inconsistent tonight. That was Thompson with a hit. 14-13. That's a free ball. And South Hardin could not, that's a free ball, and South Hamilton had no answer for that. So they didn't receive serve very well. They gave South Hardin the free ball, and that was not good. Here comes Emma Mintier to serve the ball, and they back up. And here comes Scartfeet. She's going to knock it over, but she hits it out of bounds. So now, just both teams making some mistakes. 15-14. And we're actually a little behind ahead of schedule. This game wasn't supposed to start till 8:30, but when BCLUW, and there's an ace serve, a good ace serve by Minter, when BCLUW didn't take that long at all to knock off South Hamilton, that really kind of bumped up the time a little bit. So a timeout called. The Tigers now have the lead of 16-14. I'll be back after this.
Did you know Partner Communications offers electrical services? From changing lights to wiring a new home, we can help. We have free estimates. You can call Partner today at 641-498-7701.
You are listening to Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio. You're also watching this on Radio On The Go YouTube. And we'll have football tomorrow night with South Hardin and West Marshall. That will be at 7 o'clock. That'll be a good game. I've got a volleyball match in State Center on Monday at 6:30 with West Marshall and Madrid. West Marshall always plays their volleyball matches early. 16-14 after the timeout. We got Emma Mintier to serve the ball. And Emma sends it over. And here comes an outside hit by South Hamilton. They block it back in her base. Good job. Now the Tigers send it over. Here comes South Hamilton. And that's Scartfeet. And she hits it inbounds. Scartfeet went cross court. When she's in there, man, she's double tough. So Scartfeet closes the gap to 16-15. And South Hamilton is going to get a point because the Tigers hit it out of bounds. And South Hamilton will serve. Here comes South Hardin with a middle hit, but they're able to dig that. And now there's Scartfeet. She sends in the back row. Here comes the side hit by Thompson. And they're able to dig that. Here comes Scartfeet again from the side. They push it back over. They send it over the net, and we're going to get a carry called on South Hamilton. Competitive game here, 17-16. Tigers with the lead. Both these teams just trying to end things on a positive note after both got beat by BCLUW. Okay, they're going to set up a side. South Hamilton. Tigers get to it. There's a middle, and it's going to go out of bounds. That should be 17 all, and it is. First game, we were behind schedule, then BCLUW beat South Hamilton in 2, so now we're ahead of schedule big time. This match wasn't supposed to start till 8:30. Okay, now there's Tidman, and when Lexi's in there, man, she does some things. They found her in the middle. And now we've got Thompson to serve, and the Tigers lead 18-17. And she serves that thing over, and it's an ace serve, 19-17. Oh, and a JV ball got loose. And now the varsity needs the ball. Okay. So, Thompson has the ball over there, so now Thompson's going to serve the ball over, and South Hamilton gets to it. Going to set up a middle. Tigers dig it in the back row, but then they send it out of bounds. Tigers lead 19-18. And it goes into the crowd for an ace serve for South Hamilton. So we got a score of 19 all. Good serving. That's Tidman. Once again, Lexi gets the job done. Tigers just maintain a small lead at 20-19. Tidman's been the difference maker. When Lexi's in there, playing front row. And here's Cook to serve. And there's Tidman again with the left hand. There's Tidman again, and she smashes it home again. And South Hamilton has to call the timeout. No, they don't. I'm sorry, it's rotation. I thought they called a timeout. All the girls were walking towards the bench, but it isn't. So, 20 all on KDAO. 20 all on KDAO. First game, of course, we go to 3. Well, 2-25. 3-15 if need be. Okay, Tigers have set up a side. And that's a good dig, but then they can't send it over the net. Now that was a really, really good hit. Good job by Hadley Thompson. Okay, here comes South Hamilton. Good block of the net by the Tigers. That was a good job by number 11, Lucy Anderson. Here comes Lucy in the middle. They block it. They send it over. Tigers get to it. Here's the side. And that's going to be knocked over by South Hamilton in the back row. There are the Tigers. Tigers are going to set up a middle. And that's going to be Scart feet. They knock it over. Good volley here. Free ball. Pushed over by the Tigers. Here's the side hit. South Hamilton got through the blocks. Here comes South Hardin from the side. And Scart feet with a good save. South Hamilton knocks it over. Almost a 2-hit called on South Hamilton. Scart feet pushes it over. And that's going to be 4 hits. A long volley. South Hardin gets the point. And now it's 21-20. So 22-20 is the score. I shortchanged South Hardin a point. Sorry about that. Addie Mint here, the freshman, serves the ball over. Hits the top of the net. That's going to be a free ball, and that's going to go into the net. So a good hit by Addie Cook. Now a timeout. 23-20. That is the score. A couple of mistakes here by South Hamilton. And South Hardin is up 23-20 in the first game as we go 2. And if there's a third, then we'll go 15. But South Hardin is 2 points away from a win in Game 1. I'll be back after this.
This is Ben Ferris from Ferris Insurance Agency, your local American Family Insurance agent. We offer home, auto, and life insurance through American Family. We serve Iowa Falls, Eldora, and the surrounding counties. Find us across from Hy-Vee in Iowa Falls or on Highway 175 in downtown Eldora.
Welcome back, Central Iowa High School Volleyball on KDAO Radio, also on your Radio on the Go YouTube page. I'm Chuck Carpenter. It's been a long night of volleyball, although, like I said, this match wasn't supposed to start till 8:30, so, I mean, we're really ahead of the game, and that's thanks in large part to BCLUW, who took out South Hamilton in two very quick games. Here, it's 23-20, and South Hardin's 2 points away from a game in winning Game 1. And this is Minter. She's going to serve the ball. That's going to be a free ball. Tigers get to it, knock it over the net. At least I think they knocked it over the net. No, I guess they didn't. They said it went out of bounds. I thought Addie Cook knocked it out of. I guess she knocked it out of bounds. Okay. Now I don't think that should be a point for South Hardin. Do you? It says 24-20. Now they've corrected it. 23-20. Tigers are going to set up a middle. And that's a good hit. It's a middle. A middle hit by Lucy Anderson. Now it should be 24-21. Okay. I think they're a little confused there. Should be 24-21. Okay, so anyway, this is game point by Addie Cook. It's 24-21. Addie Cook. Game point. Skartvik gets it in the back row. And they push it into the net, and the Tigers pick up the win. At least I think they do. Yes, 25-21. I wasn't sure. I think they were a little confused at the scoreboard there for a while. But South Hardin gets the win in the first set tonight, 25-21. Both teams actually really did struggle at times, hitting the ball out of bounds, but South Hardin just played just a little cleaner volleyball, I think, than South Hamilton. And now, of course, South Hardin would like to wrap this up and not have to go 3 games and end the night with a good taste in their mouth. And again, I think in this match, South Hardin just played just a little cleaner volleyball than South Hardin did. And the Tigers win set 1, 25-21. So what we're going to do, we'll take a quick little break here. We're in Eldora tonight doing high school volleyball, my very first triangular. And BCLUW walked away with 2 wins tonight. And South Hardin is trying to end the night with a win. And they're up 1-0. And I'll be back with set number 2 in Eldora right after this on KDAO.
In Ziering, McCallsburg, St. Anthony, Clemens, and the surrounding areas, Minerva Valley Companies is your local provider for high-speed fiber internet, telephone service, and digital video TV. Gallagher Insurance, Risk Management and Consulting is a leading global insurance brokerage and consulting firm. Visit Gallagher at 11 East Church Street in Marshalltown or call 641-752-4618.
24 years of honest work and fair prices. Matt Schuyler and Jason at Eldora Tire and Alignment have the know-how to keep your vehicle running right this fall. A dealer of hand-cooked tires. That's Eldora Tire and Alignment, Highway 175 East Eldora. Experience you can trust.
Ellsworth Community College is preparing students for success with affordable education and hands-on learning. Whether you're starting your college journey or preparing for a career, Ellsworth Community College is here to help you succeed.
Welcome back to Central Iowa High School Volleyball, my first triangular. And the Tigers are 1 set away from ending this night on a winning note. Very competitive first game between they and South Hamilton. And South Hardin won the thing by a score of 25-21. We had a lot of other volleyball going on tonight in the area. And, of course, we got tournaments on Saturday. Of course, tomorrow night it's all about football. Well, the Marshtown Bobcat girls are playing tennis at Dallas Center Grimes, but for the most part, it's about football tomorrow night. And our good game on KDAO will be West Marshall and South Hardin, and that will be at 7 o'clock in State Center. Okay. Tigers trying to wrap this up. South Hamilton actually came out with good energy, but they ended up just making too many mistakes that cost them. South Hamilton's going to serve the ball over, and South Hardin starts things off with a rocket. Emma Minter. I mean, they've got the girls who can put it down. They have a lot of girls. Thompson, Minter, Anderson. And, of course, I keep saying when Lexi Tidman is in there, boy, she really changes things as far as that middle hitter. So 1-0. Here's Cook to serve the ball. Cook serves the ball over. Off balance. Nice dig in the back row. And then a big hit in the middle by number 11, Lucy Anderson. So that's some good depth on display here. And Addie Cook will serve the ball. And Addie serves it. Scartbeat gets it in the back row. South Hardin goes into a block. Here comes the Tigers. Oh, there's a side hit. They went the other way. I guess that was out of bounds. It was pretty. I thought it was going to go down. But instead, the Tigers hit it out of bounds. 2-1. Tigers with the lead. Tigers are going to set up a middle. Now that one went out of bounds too. So 2-2. Again, this match between these two teams is kind of a match of mistakes here. Whoever plays the cleaner volleyball. And there's a free ball, but Scartbeat. I thought Scartbeat was going to hit it out of bounds, but she did not. And actually, I think South Hardin is making a case for that. And so South Hardin is protesting. You get one girl that can talk to the up referee, and that's what Emma Minter is doing. And they're giving the ball, and they're giving the point to Scartbeat. And Minter still talking to the up official. So they're having quite the discussion. But Scartbeat, I think, is going to end up with a point. So Minter pleaded her case. And now South Hamilton serves the ball over. And this time they go down the line, and Minter, Emma, I'm pretty sure that was her. She was the one that was talking to the official. She just slammed it home for a point, and it's 3-3. In comes rotation, comes Raylyn Cook. And that's a free ball, and Hadley Thompson just rammed it home. Tigers now lead 4-3. And we got a JV ball that got loose. South Hamilton will receive serve. South Hamilton will set up a back row attack. Here comes the Tigers with a back set, and it's good. Back set, kill, good set, and a nice kill by Cook. So they're starting to get some other girls involved in the offense. And, of course, Tinman hasn't even checked in yet. When she does, she's always good at the front of the net. Okay, there's a serve that goes into the net. The Tigers didn't need that, but that's what they got. 5-4 on KDAO. South Hardin won the first match 25-21. They're going to set up one that goes last touched. That was actually Minter again. from the right outside of the net, and she went right down the line, and it stayed in bounds. And Kate Allen, I think, is going to come in to serve. And 6-4 Tigers. Again, this game wasn't supposed to start till 8:30, but BCLUW took care of South Hamilton in two quick games, so here we are. Yep, there she is. That's Skartveit. You put her in the middle for the Hawks, and she's tough, man. Skartveit just smoked one down from the middle. 6-5 on KDAO. Hawks will serve the ball at 6-5. It's a lobbing serve. Tidman's back in. And there's a free ball for Tidman. And this time, though, the Tigers are going to get called for 4 hits. So they gave Tidman a free ball. They knocked it into the net, though, and then they dug it out. And by the time they dug it out, there was 4 hits. So, 6-all on KDAO. Here's a side hit. And that goes out of bounds. 7-6 on KDAO. That's a lobbing serve. There's a back row attack by the Tigers, and it goes. So there's another good hit. I think, again, that was by Mintier. That's a back row attack, which is really, really tough to do. But she did. And now we got a 7-all game. And the Tigers are going to serve the ball. And that's Skartveit, and she hit one out of bounds. They went to Skartveit in the middle. Well, in the middle row. Why there's Coach. Coach is here. We're going to do their football game on Friday night. On a nice night. He has to get home and watch the 49ers and the Raiders. So Coach Eller is here. When Coach Eller is here, I'm on my best behavior, man. So again, we're going to see them tomorrow night. That's going to be a good football game, man. West Marshall and South Hardin. Now, in the meantime, it's 9-7. South Hardin trying to wrap this thing up. It's a tussle, and they lead this thing by a score of 9-7. But then they hit one into the net. So Thompson hit one into the net. And 9-8 is the score, my first triangular. BCLUW beat South Hamilton and South Hardin. South Hardin's up 1-0 here. Okay, that's going to be Addie Mintier in the back row. And South Hamilton sets up a hit. And we got whistles, but that's JV whistles. So South Hamilton tracks it down. South Hardin back row. Oh, there's Tidman. She tipped it over the block, but they came to get it, and then they hit it out of bounds. So Tidman tipped it, and then 2 Hawks ran into each other. And it's 10-8. South Hardin with the lead of 2 points. Okay. Here's a side hit by South Hamilton. And it's going to go into the bleachers. Last touch by South Hardin. And that was Trask who hit it for South Hamilton. (10-9). Hawks are going to serve it, and the lead. Now that goes into the net, so that helps out the Tigers. That gives them another point. They won the first one, 25-21. Now it's 11-9. Tigers need to rattle off a few points in a row here. Here's Addie Binner, and then Addie sends one out of bounds. So, in this match, nobody has gotten more than 2 points in a row, I don't think. Just a lot of side outs. 11-10. Hawks send it over. There's a side, and it got through the blocks. So Emma Minter having a good game. That time she came from the left outside of the net and put one down. Tigers would like to rattle off a few points in a row here. Skartvik receives the serve. There's a back set. There's the Tigers, and it's a cross-court hit. And I guess that went out of bounds. So once again, Tigers just can't rattle off more than 1 or 2 points in a row, really. So it stays a 12-11 game. The Tigers lead 12-11. And the Hawks will serve it over. And they do. And they block it. And they send it over and out. We're talking about South Hamilton. They sit it into the bleachers. So once again, a 13-11 lead. But the Tigers just can't, break it open here. So Mint here, 13-11. She's had an excellent game tonight. She sends one over. Good serve. Side hit, but it got through hit the net, so that should be 4 hits. So that's 4 hits called. So the Tigers, find a way to score 2 points in a row. Expand the lead to 3. Emma Minter sends one over. In the back row, Tigers get to it. And then they send it over on a kill by Cook. So now they open up a little cushion of 15-11. Good serving here by Minter. Minter sends it over. That's going to be an ace serve. She's had a good night tonight, man. So they break open a little cushion here. It's 16-11. Tigers won game 1, 25-21. It's 16-11 here, thanks in large part to Emma Mintier. I'll be back after this on KDAO.
Colotel Fiber is connecting Iowa communities to the future. Enjoy reliable fiber internet with managed Wi-Fi, unlimited use, and no data caps. Colotel Fiber, fast, reliable, and local.
You are listening to Central Iowa High School Volleyball in Eldora on KDAO Radio. You're watching this on Radio On The Go YouTube page, which I think you can still access by going to KDAO.com. As we made a few changes this year. And Mintier, after the timeout, another tough serve. That's another ace serve. So, Emma getting the job done. She's just one of those girls back from last year. And she's a senior. (17-11) right now. And that one goes into the net. So she had a good run. I mean, they scored 4 points in a row, and that was nice. Now the Tigers need to get it back. 17-12 here. They don't really want to go 3. They win 3 and lost to BCLUW. In the middle, that looked good, and it was good. A nice set, and Thompson just blasted it. They didn't offer much of a defense either. So the Tigers bring in Allen to serve. And again, they could use a couple of more points in a row. Minter out there directing traffic. She's a good quarterback, ma'am. 18-12. And the Hawks send one over, but not a very good serve. Not a very good set. And here comes a hit down the side, but it went out of bounds. They tried to hit it down the side, but it went out of bounds. 18-13 right now. Okay, Tigers send one over. South Hamilton. That's Skartvik. They're able to dig that. Good job. Now they're going to send it over from the back row, and they send it out of bounds. So that was a good job. I tell you what, Lucy Anderson in the back row dug it. That was a hard hit that Skartvik gave her, and she dug it into their back row, and they got one hand on it and sent it out of bounds. So 19-13 here. Tigers closing in on 25 and a win. Hawks are going to set up Skartvik, who pushes it over into the back row. Tigers knock it over into their back row. And then Skartvik with an easy hit as the Tigers offered up no defense. So that was easy. Tigers didn't offer up any defense, but it's 19-14 now. Tigers still with the lead. They could use the timeout. They just soon go 2 games and not 3. And that's going to be an ace serve. Skartvik hit the back row. And the Tigers gave up on it. $19-15 now. And we get a rotation violation. Once again, it's where the referee blows this whistle and then he draws a circle on the court, and that can only mean bad things. And it did. So South Hamilton is going to set up a side hit. It's dug by Mintier. Addy, the libero, knocked over by the Tigers. Saved again by the freshman Mintier. And now there's Emma, and they block her ball out of bounds. So the Mintier girls getting done Addy with her defense, and then Emma just hitting the ball from all over the place. She's been some kind of tough tonight. So 21-15 here. And serving the ball will be Cook. And she serves it over. Skartvik gets to it. They knock it into the back row. And, there's Lexi. And she put one down. So Lexi Tidman stuck into the game. And her hitting percentage is very, very good tonight. Tigers closing in on 25. It's 22-15. Trying to salvage a game here if they lost to BCLUW. And that's a serve out of bounds. Comets tonight won over South Hardin 17-25, 25-14, and 15-11. Then BCLUW whooped South Hamilton 25-16, 25-20. South Hardin with a victory over South Hamilton 25-21 here. Now it's 22-16. And South Hardin really doesn't want to give up this lead. They really don't want to go 3 games. Okay, it's going to be dumped over by the setter. You should have saw that coming, but South Hamilton did not, and a good job by Addie Cook as she just dumped it over. So that makes the score 23-16. Skartvik receives serve. Here's a side. Yep, there she is. That's Minter, Emma. And again, Addie Minter saved it. And then Emma killed it. Okay, this is match point, man. 25-16. 24-16. So this is match point. And they serve it over. Skartvik in the middle. She hit it into the net, and that's a winner for the Tigers. 25-16. So this game wasn't supposed to start till 8:30, but we got started early, and the Tigers ended it. And the Tigers end the night with a win over South Hamilton, 25-21, 25-16. So the Comets, they come through with 2 victories tonight, and South Hardin splits, losing to BCLUW, winning against South Hamilton. And that's going to do it. My first triangular is in the books. Our next sporting action will be the football game tomorrow night. And we're talking about West Marshall and South Hardin. And then on Monday night, I'll return for volleyball from State Center with West Marshall and Madrid. So the Tiger girls win in 2 after they lost in 3 to BCLUW. We hope you've enjoyed the action. This has been a sports presentation of KDAO.